What the fuck? Is there two streams going on at the same time? No, there isn't. Okay. The fuck? Okay. That was weird as fuck. Oh, right. That was strange. That was weird. All right. Yeah, I'm back. AW Aaron Warriors back, baby. What's up, guys? I hope you're all good. Okay. Hope you're all doing good. Like I am. Doing really good. We just got off Daredevil, right? Episode 1 and 2. We talked about that yesterday. And it's going to be more of Daredevil today, guys. More of Daredevil talk today. All right? More Daredevil talk. I'm going to invite my friend Blinded. We're starting this earlier than usual because, honestly, this is a Grace Randolph detracting video. And this video is long. 33 minutes, half an hour video. So we're starting earlier than usual. I hope to see the channel start popping soon. Hope to see Blind to come in. He has a link, all that stuff, all set up. I hope to see people come in. I know Red is going to be a little late. Maybe now a half an hour he'll pop in. Because I know Red. I know what he's watching right now. He's perfectly clear yesterday. So I'll start hope seeing the chat pop in any minute now. I know where 56K is because I see where 56K is. So I know he's probably busy. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do this. Make sure I do this. Please like and subscribe. Do all that. For me. I'm going to pin it. Pin it for you guys. Come say hello. Come say hello to the AW Airwell Order. It's good to have you guys around. I swear it is. Right now. It's good to have you. We've been looking at Grace Randolph's review on the first 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again and what she says about it, what she likes, what she doesn't like, Easter eggs. Basically, we're breaking down her breakdown of the first 2 episodes. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, okay? We're breaking down her breakdown. It's kind of funny to think about it. Okay? That's what we're doing. So I'm glad you're all here. The ones are going to pop in soon. I'm glad you're all here. All right? Here we go. 33 minutes long. That's what it is. All right. That's how long. So come say hello and enjoy this with me, all right? What's up, Sideways? Sideways is here. Blinded. All right. Sideways is here. I think Blinded listened to this. I think Blinded did listen to this video. If he comes on, he'll tell me. I did not listen to this. I don't know what's going on. But look, Easter eggs opening. Okay, well, I gotta unmute this. 33 minutes long. So we're gonna bear grace for 33 minutes, all right?
Superhero content's having a tough time right now. Now, I'm sure Disney Marvel's a scooch disappointed in this Rotten Tomato score, especially
82% is a disappointment in Rotten Tomato score for the critics. Let me see what it is right now because I know it's up. Oh, it's still 82%. Still 82%, but it's a 90% audience score. 82% is not a disappointment. It's not. I don't think Marvel's disappointed. 82%. The audience score is 90%. I don't know why she says this is a disappointment. It's clearly not the case. If 82% is considered bad, then she has high expectations. Really, really high expectations, unrealistic expectations. But the audience score, she just puts the critic scores. She just puts the critic score. She's a critic, but you don't put the audience score. The audience score, she doesn't put the audience score. The audience score is 90%. 90% based on 500 and based on 500 reviews, over 500 reviews. Okay. And 82% audience score on 97 reviews. So she doesn't put up the audience score. Put up the audience score. Let's see what that is. They all do this. All these YouTubers that talk movies, whether it's Campia, Grace, whoever, they always look at the audience score, but never, no, not the audience score, the critic score, but never at the audience score. But 82% is not a disappointment. If 82% is disappointment, then Marvel needs rebranding. There's a lot of rebranding. MC does a lot of rebranding, and that's not happening, man. That's not going to be the case. Okay? I don't know. I don't know what her parameters of what makes a good film or TV show. What the percentage has to be, because if 82% is low and disappointed based on her standards, and she's trying to apply Marvel standards, then I don't want her as a reviewer or a reviewer, because no, like, it has to be 90. It has to be 90. Okay? 82 is good. 82 is good, okay? 82 is good. In fact, I believe Agatha, the one before, got 84. Agatha got 84%. 84%. Okay? And I can tell you one thing. This is better than Agatha, by the way. Better than Agatha. It's better than Agatha. But Agatha got 84% and it has an 83% audience score. So Agatha has a better. So I'm gonna just recap that. Agatha has a better critic score by 2%, but a much lower audience score by 7%. And I'm gonna say this: the show's better than Agatha right away. I know I'm watching Dynamite. Don't worry, I'm doing both. I'm doing both, buddy. But I don't know what she's talking about, because if This is ridiculous. This is a ridiculous claim. A really, really stupid point. I don't see how. I just don't see it. Yeah, Netflix season 2 has an 81 score, and that's good. Like, yeah, 80% is not bad. Thank you, 56K. I don't know what she's smoking. Well, not smoking, but sniffing.
Since they went all out and gave the full season to press, which they have never done before with a live action Star Wars or Marvel show, clearly in an attempt to try and win.
She's trying to like, I don't know what she's trying to do here.
The press over, and it didn't really work. But
it worked at 82%. 82%. What is she talking about? 90% audience. Is she blind? Is she really that elitist? Has that elitist kind of way of thinking that a movie or a TV show better be by Marvel standards? Okay. When was the last time Marvel stuff got nominated for major awards? Barely does. Okay, 82% is good for Marvel. Okay. Really, really good. It's a good show. Who fucking cares? 82% is not bad. It's not terrible. It's good.
Disaster either. What do you think of this Rotten Tomatoes score? I think people will see in it what they want to see. Again, I mean, it's still.
I think people are fine with it. I know, Simon. I think 82% is good. Duh.
Fresh. It's still fresh. But social media reactions, once again, not at all accurate to the Rotten Tomatoes score that follows. And it doesn't just happen to Disney, to be fair. Part of me.
I checked social media. Majority of people loved it. Loved the first 2 episodes. And, okay, let's see what she has to say about social media.
Feels we should get rid of social media reactions. But why would Hollywood get rid of the thing that's overly positive? But just always.
I would rather watch Eyes on Blood Roof. Hey, I watched Blood Roof live action, buddy. Oh yeah, or Yaira, your live action with those, for research, on the Fall of the Whipplerbirds.
Keep that in mind when you see social media reactions. My social media reactions always match my review.
They should. Look, these people pimped out.
It's an interesting situation, but you might have noticed that I didn't post a review for Daredevil. That's because I'm trying something a little different this time. Now, in the past, I've watched my screeners and I've gotten way ahead of you. In this case, I would have finished the entire season. But in the past, that has put us on different pages, which makes it hard.
Oh my God. You would rather watch the knockoff Luke Cage and the tokenized Scarlet Witch? Yes. Yes. Jay White with the win, huh? Beats that up.
For us to really have a good discussion, because you guys will be focusing on what you just saw, and I'll be like, wait until you see episode 4 or episode 5, and you're like, but I haven't. That's multiple episodes from now. And that's made our conversations, I think, difficult. So this time I'm going to try watching the show with you. What you see, I see.
With me? Oh God, no. No, don't watch it with me. Please, watch it by yourself. I don't want you to watch it with me. Please, can you watch it by yourself? We prefer Daredevil knockoff. Please, Grace, don't watch it with me. Please. We don't want that. We don't need that. We do not need that. Please. That's scary. That's scary. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it by yourself, please.
And therefore, as I said, we can be on the same page.
We can be on the same page.
So what?
Be on the same page, guys. She's gonna try to be on the same page as everybody else.
What was my impression of these first 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again? I would say they were hit and miss.
Hit and miss? Yeah, man. I knew it.
Stuff I really liked, and some stuff I felt was unfortunate. All right, so what did you think? I'm excited to hear your thoughts down below, and let's discuss. There are chapters.
Do you think she's... Yeah, she might be on crack. She might be on crack or taking coke or something. She's looking kind of sexy there. Can't lie. Where's Blinded? I know Blinded wants to come in. Come on, Blinded. I mean, he might be busy. Blinded might be a morning. No. Blinded's not a morning. He knew about this. He knew Last of Us 3 is not happening.
Times down below, but just so you know what we're going to go through, I'm going to first share my overall thoughts. Then we're going to talk about that opening. Real life Easter eggs. There are some New York
Horsemen would be better show than his Marvel trash. She's not gonna probably Adderall.
City Easter eggs on this show.
You think she has ADHD? Because a lot of people that have ADHD take Adderall, right? Joey Pants in The Last of Us Season 2. You're just hating on the cream. Cream Grace.
So if you don't live in New York City, you might not get them, which I think is an interesting...
If you don't live in New York City, you might not get them.
Choice. We'll see how that works out for the show. Comic book Easter eggs, which there are aplenty, and then some of the very strong story parallels, which I think is the best part of these first 2 episodes. What do you think is the best part of the first 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again? So,
Grace Randolph Born Again. Grace Randolph Born Again, guys. There's a movie coming out called Grace Randolph Born Again. That's true. That's true. That's true, Degrassi. That's true. You think she's really on it?
oh yes, they have. Disney Marvel has tripped over nostalgia yet again. And so close, because we just had this problem with Captain America Brave New World, whereas if you didn't watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, you really couldn't appreciate or even follow the new movie.
Man, yeah.
And I think to appreciate Daredevil Born Again, you have to have watched Daredevil on Netflix, seasons 1 through 3, which was 7 years ago. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. RCU by Ursula. It's in the works. The RCU. Cinematic universe. Oh God, no.
I mean, I think this is not a great entry point to the character. Now, I do think you don't have to necessarily redo the origin story.
True, but for some people checking out with Born Again and not understanding what's happening, why this is kind of like it's not how do you say it? It's not a season 4, right? It's not directly a season 4. It's really, how do you say when a show ends but a new show continues on from that? What do you call that? It's not really a sequel. Degrassi would know what you would call it. But it's not directly a sequel, even though it takes place after that. You know, there's some shows like that. You got, right? That's what this show is. What do you exactly call that? Maybe the show will get people that haven't seen the Netflix seasons. Go Maybe they'll check it out. They get a better idea. What is it called? What do they call that when the show ends? When the show ends, but the studio decides, you know what? We want to do this. We want to pick up 10, 15 years down the line. We want to do the show again. What do you call that? Continuation, you would call it? Is there a specific name for that? Or is it just a continuation? Okay, a lengthy sequel series. Okay. Yeah, because this is not season 4 of Daredevil. This is not season 4 of Daredevil. It's continuation of the Daredevil on Netflix, but it's not season 4. It's a new show with a new title. That's it. A requel. Or Grace Quill. Horseman season 1, Horseman season 2, and season 3 on Netflix. And then Horseman, we found Horseman 4 came on Disney Plus. Like the new King of the Hill. Is that out yet? The new King of the Hill? Horseman season 1, season 2, and season 3 on Netflix. And the Horseman, we've all called Horseman Born Again.
Story every time. They didn't do the Spider-Man's origin story. They didn't do Batman's origin story again. And I'm not saying you need to do, although I'm curious how many people, how many of you did watch the Netflix Daredevil series? But I'm not saying they had to do his origin story again, but I think a little bit more of an intro would have been good. Because they really just throw you into the deep end of the pool. And you feel
I mean, they are relying on people who have to watch the Netflix series. That is true. That is true. I'll give her that. They were relying on people watching Netflix series. New reviewers to this who are just interested in MCU and don't really never watch Netflix series. They will definitely be out of the loop. But here's a simple idea. If you're lost, you have Disney Plus. Go watch Daredevil, the Netflix Daredevil seasons. Okay? That's all you gotta do. If you're lost, as simple as that. Just go watch. There's 3 seasons of Daredevil on Disney Plus. They're on Disney Plus. If you're out of the loop, just go watch that. It's simple. I swear, Hank Hill and Peggy were in the Beavis and Butthead Do America movie. I swear that was them. That's basically them, like in the future.
I guess that's it. You feel like you're trying to keep your head above water for the whole first 2 episodes. I don't really feel you ever kind of like get.
But just once again, it's simple. Grace, for the people who haven't seen the, here's the thing. This is what I would say. For the people that haven't, I said this just a minute ago. If the people that haven't seen the Netflix series, just go see it on Disney Plus. Disney Plus has all the Netflix Marvel shows on it. Jessica Jones, Daredevil, I think it has Punisher on it, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Defenders, has all that. That's all you gotta do is just go there and check out. If you're lost, go check that out. It's all simple as that. It's probably still all right, as easy as that.
Your bearings, which makes it a weird watch. But if you've never seen the Netflix Daredevil show and you started to watch this show tonight, how'd it feel? Again, I don't think this is a very good entry point. It feels very much like a season 4 of a show that's kind of lost its mojo a little bit. Dropped from the 90s to the 80s on Rotten Tomatoes, low 80s.
Look how she has, look at that. It dropped from the 90s to the low 80s on Rotten Tomato. The way she said it sounds like it's a bad thing. It's like a major drop off. The way she says it is like, oh, it dropped from 90s to the 90s. Like 80 is like the 60s or 50s. You see how she said that? Like seriously, 90s to 80s. That's not. Is that bad? The way her tone about that is like, oh, it dropped from 90 to 80. Like 80 is like 70 or 60. Man, ton of like seriously. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah. I love Beavis and Butthead Do America. That's a funny, hilarious movie. I love that movie. I did see the other one that came out a couple of years ago. I did not see that one. Where can you see the other one? I did not see the other one. Right before Civil War.
But it's also season 3, as I said, was like 7 years ago. You got to catch everybody up a little bit. To me, as I said,
No, they don't. They assume people that are watching this seeing the Netflix shows. And if you haven't, simple, just go watch the Netflix shows, the Netflix seasons. Get caught up. What they're not like 20 episodes. Here's the thing. How much episodes? Okay. The next episode of Daredevil comes out Tuesday, right? Here's the thing. Okay, how many episodes are there in the season? 13 episodes, right? 13 episodes, right? How long are? Oh, I don't know how long they are. Paramount Plus movies, yeah, okay, I gotta check that. Here's the thing: 13 episodes. So if you haven't seen the past 3 seasons, go watch. Go if you have time. If you have time, obviously, not everybody has time. Go watch. I don't know, 3 or 4 episodes a day. Maybe 4 episodes. Maybe four episodes to get done. Season 1. Maybe 4 or 5 episodes in one day. You could possibly get past through season 1. Or if you just, or maybe just get through season 3. You could probably get past through season 3, uh, just before the next episode of Daredevil. You have time. You have 55 minutes. So if you have time to dedicate about 4 or 5 hours in your day, you could probably watch 5 episodes. 5 episodes. Okay, and you probably get caught up. You probably get caught up much caught up. Just watch season 3 maybe to where you are here. That's all you gotta do, man. All you gotta do. You could do it. You could get caught up. The thing about one of the blessings of having streaming services is that if you're lost, if you're watching a movie or TV show and it's a continuation of something and you're lost, you have a streaming service that will help you navigate to get you caught up, help you out.
the first 2 episodes feel disjointed. They seem to almost focus more on on style than story.
No, what is she talking about? There's a lot of story in the first 2 episodes. Is she seriously style? New World Order. Black America from a New World Order. What is she talking about? There's a lot of story in the first 2 episodes. What is she watching? Of course, it's style. It's like Netflix style. It's the tone of Netflix. That's probably better, man. Let's see this. Let me read this. Marvel Studios is breaking from using publishing as research and development for future MCU projects and has started to develop more original stories and characters. You mean like now it's actually inspired by the comics and like more like original characters like a Darcy Lewis type? Like original characters from them, like that?
Oh, let's take shots of the suits in Kingpin's closet. I mean, that worked in the Netflix show, but they'd earned that moment. So many times this felt like it was overly edited. It felt a little bit like a music video.
What the fuck is this? Is still felt like Netflix to me. It's just guys, we watched the show. I think everybody here. This did not feel like an MCU produced show. It is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it did not feel like an MCU produced show. This definitely had a tone and the production quality of the Netflix show, Netflix series. Definitely. You could really tell from the beginning Oh, cool, Degrassi. You can really tell. You can really tell from the first scene, first scene of the show when they're walking, when the Karen, Foggy, and Matt were walking. You can really tell by that. But yeah, this doesn't look Marvel. This doesn't look MCU like. Ripper versus Rogue. Yeah, like Foggy getting gunned down like 50 Cent is too Disney Plus. Like
Rather than like a story. Like,
she's nitpicking a fucking suit scene. Suit scene. Suits. Kingpin open up his closet, there's a bunch of suits. Really? Why are you nitpicking something like that? Nobody cares about. Nobody looks at that. Nobody looks at something like that. Okay? No real viewer looks at that. Okay? Oh, there's a bunch of suits. Like nobody fucking looks at that. What do you even?
like a series with a script. And that makes it a hard watch, especially, for 2 episodes, basically like a movie.
This was not. This was not like a fucking movie. Oh my god.
I really liked it when it focused on story the most. The parallels, particularly
This show, first 2 episodes was a lot about story. Okay? Was a lot about story. We said this last night. We compared it to the Penguin, and since that the Penguin was a lot about story, was a lot about story rather than action. There was a lot of story in this. Yeah, Hasbro. Yeah, I heard about this. Yeah, I heard about that, Degrassi. And we know Mattel is gonna make DC toys. But there was in the first 2 episodes, there was a lot of story. It's like the Penguin show. The Penguin show there was not a lot of action. There was story.
between Daredevil and Kingpin are fascinating here. That was my favorite part of the first 2 episodes. It's just it's some of you feel like maybe like they had to like salvage the footage from the first time they tried to do season 1. As you heard, they had to totally redo it. I thought they'd reshot it, but I mean, it does feel like they're trying to salvage old footage, and they're like, just stick some music over it and let's just make it kind of look cool. And you're like, where's the story? And then also they use.
They have. What is she talking? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. I mean, DC can have license to multiple toy companies. Same with Marvel, right?
This BB Urich, Ben Urich's niece, her social media videos is kind of like, I don't know, it seems almost to like cut the footage together, but her social media videos don't add anything to the story, which is.
It does add stuff to the story. You don't understand. I don't think you understand what she was trying to do, BB Ulrich. Oh my god. BB Ulrich was out there interviewing civilians about crime and if they feel safe in Hell's Kitchen, specifically New York, and also their thoughts on Kingpin and vigilantism. That's very important to the story. That's very important to the story, the overall thing of Daredevil. I mean, it's the same thing in Batman, the Cape Crusader, they literally, that's a cartoon show, but the Cape Crusader, I'm not sure which episode, but it could be the 4th or 5th episode. There's the exact same thing they introduced regular civilians about Batman. If is he a force for justice or a menace? That's what they're doing here. That's what Ben Oaks is to BB Ulrich, not Ben, is doing here. She's trying. That's a very important to the story. Okay. I don't think Grace understands that. And you see Kingpin when he's as mayor and stuff, he talks about vigilantism and how he's going to outlaw it and how he's going to make sure it's not going to happen. I don't understand where, like, I don't see how what Grace says is not very important to the story. It is fucking important to the story. Also, wasn't her uncle murdered killed in the first season too? Like, come on, Grace. Remember, Blinded. I need you here because I know you're pissed. I know you'll be pissed off too right now. I don't. Like, I
So it's odd that they're included. I mean, I guess doing it once is okay.
also, but I do find what's other interesting. She did multiple takes. You know that guy in the middle? The guy in the middle with the bandana, right? It does seem scripted too. There's a point, does seem scripted.
But they did it like 3 times, and you're like, there's nothing here. And why is the
Blinded
phone?
crying right now. Jasmine Ice. Oh my god. Here's Blinded. Blinded. Oh my god, what's in the Avatar? Where's that?
JD Vance.
I'm gonna maximize. Oh my god, it's JD
It's
fans.
JD Vance. Hello, everybody. I just came back from the Diddy party.
What did you eat there, man? We
He
gained
says
a lot of weight.
Blinded is crying right now. I'm not crying right now. I'm not crying right now. What are you talking about?
Um,
They canceled The Last of Us Part 3. No, I'm joking.
you know, I was just joking in your announcement, your post, right? I wasn't.
You were?
Yeah.
Fuck. I was about to block you and delete you and say you were Snyder Tard. Don't play like that.
You just came at the perfect time. She felt like she said the BBO character is not important to the show. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Who?
The
Oh, the
BB.
BB.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's stupid. I don't think she. That's what I'm saying. I don't think she. This is Grace Randolph. I mean, there's. I didn't watch this video. I watched maybe about 5 minutes of it, and then I turned it off. I just couldn't watch the
I
entire
think
thing.
82% is bad.
Yeah, she said she didn't like it, which there's some people saying they didn't like it, and so I see some people saying it's like a CW show, and I'm like,
What
this
the
is fucking
fuck?
this is fucking berserk, right?
CW.
Yeah, they're saying it's a CW show. I mean, these are
Oh,
people on Twitter, right? I
I'll
always
let you
say
all.
people on Twitter,
I'll let you
ignore
all
them.
know. When we talked about the review yesterday, we were talking about Kingpin, the character specifically. It's already
Mhm.
started. The people are calling it.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was you could see that a mile
Yeah,
away.
yeah, I seen it. Ranting Avengers did a video. I didn't watch it, but he did a video
Yeah,
on.
I saw that too. I didn't see the video, but I saw his thumbnail, of course.
So she made a point here, like BB Rock is not important to the what she is not important. I'm like, dude, she is important. Her role is important.
Yeah, I don't know if Grace saw all of the show because she tends to do that. She tends to drop
she
spoilers for these shows that she's already
she
watched in its
says
entirety.
she's changed her. She says she's changed how she's doing shows now. Because she usually gets screeners and she watches everything, right? But she says she's
Right.
gonna do it. She got a screener first, but she says she's not gonna do. She's gonna go along
Oh,
with the
she's not
crowd.
watching the.
Yeah, and all of
Okay,
them.
well, yeah, because she seemed like she doesn't like the show. She said that the show has a lower score on Rotten Tomato. It doesn't.
82% is
So
good, but she doesn't look at the audience score versus 90%.
yeah, I don't. I mean, outside of the people on Twitter who are acting, of course, like people, like this is what I say. People on Twitter are deranged, right? Like they say one thing. They say they because remember, first it was they wanted Daredevil back, and then when it was Daredevil is not canon, I don't care. Then they made it canon, and then now it's like, I don't like
They
the
killed
show, and you're
Foggy.
like, what? Well, yeah, they say all this bullshit. Which, by the way, someone pointed out that and this is true. We never even saw a funeral for him. They just jumped to
No,
a year later. So that also might be a what do you call it? A a fake out, right? Maybe he's not dead and he's in hiding because that was what happened in the Mark Wade run. So I
It,
didn't even
it may
I
it
should
may
have realized, but
it may explain why. I mean, if they shouldn't. The thing is, discussion film, whatever. They shouldn't report that he's coming back in season two. They should not have reported that. That should have been a surprise.
right.
They should never report that he's coming back in season two.
No,
Even
well
if,
maybe he is.
yeah,
Maybe
but you
he
know what?
is.
If he is, they shouldn't report that. It should have been a surprise. I'm just saying.
No, I
No,
think it was better to report it so then no one would
well,
have
maybe.
been everybody would have been surprised
What
watching
if
this
he?
first episode.
What if he comes back at the end of season one?
I think they said he's still in the rest of the season, so we'll have to see.
Yeah. So this is a long video, blinded. It's 33
Mhm.
minutes.
Volume so low
Jesus.
on them. It was weirding me out. I didn't think they were effectively used at all. In fact,
Where
I
is she?
probably would have cut them. Um,
She doesn't understand what the
Would have
video is.
cut them?
She does.
Yeah, but I mean, Grace is always like, I would have done this and that, and it's like, okay, first off, one, we kind of already know you're not the most. I don't think Grace has any good creative sensibilities whatsoever. So her saying this is kind of like a mute point. It's like me
Yeah.
saying, I would have done this. They should have cast this person. I'm not a fucking casting director, right? And on top of that, too, it's like with Grace. Um, I mean, she says they should have done something. They did it, and then it fails, right? And
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it's always like that. So I don't know. I don't really give too much stock to what she says creatively speaking. She's not a very, I don't know. She's not on the ball in
She
terms of creative decisions.
she nitpicks things that don't matter to the show. She talked about like Kingpin suits. I'm like, what? Like, who
Yeah.
cares? Who?
Well,
Like the
the suit, like you're talking about, like,
closet,
oh, it's not the cot.
the closet full of suits. They open up the closet. They show a closet full of Kingpin
Yeah,
suits. Like,
yeah.
who
You see his
cares?
suits and stuff.
That's not. Why is that so important to the overall thing of the show? He wears suits. He's a fucking
Well,
mayor.
you see him open up the closet, and he's gonna go for the white classic
Yeah.
but then he decides not to, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
But
I don't. I
I don't know
he
why she
goes
needs to
for the
nitpick that.
gray. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I think I think she's kind of stupid because I mean, I thought it was more referencing the fact that the kingpin in this season is not going to be the traditional kingpin in the sense that he's going to be he's not going to be the ruthless violent person. He's kind of a gray kind of character, and that's why he picks that gray suit, and we see
Yeah.
him with the gray suit on, right, for quite some time. So that was my kind of assessment on it. I mean, we also see there's a lot of like color, right? I think maybe it's too obvious, right? Where you got like Daredevil at the ending of the episode with the red flashing, like anytime he has that instinct for Daredevil, you see the red pop up flashing, right? And he's like
Yeah.
tempted by it. Because they have that conversation in the diner and Kingpin's like, it's people's nature, right?
Yep.
Um and I thought that I liked that scene. That's why I'm like, people are kind of like, I have no clue what people want anymore. It's like, is this Sopranos? No, but this is still pretty good. Like, it's decent for a Marvel show. I would say it's close to or on par with the Netflix show. So I don't I don't understand what people really want anymore.
This
It's like they didn't enjoy it, and then they go, well, that's not what I wanted, and you're like, okay, well, what did you want anyway?
did they want this? You know what the original idea was going to be far away from what they wanted. Believe me, this
Right.
is closer to what they wanted than what the original idea was.
Right, and then there's people saying it's not a continuation, and you're
It
like,
is
well,
continuation.
the third like, I don't understand, right? Because it's like the third season didn't set up much besides Bullseye returning, and we see Bullseye. So, I mean, there's not really any sort of plot threads that were left over besides, hey, we just want more Daredevil, right? So, um,
But
I don't know. I'm confused.
it is a continuation. They made in the show. It made perfectly clear it's a continuation.
Right.
Like,
Of course, you have to actually watch this
okay, for
new show to understand, or the
for
old show, I mean.
yeah. So for the people, like the people, if they didn't watch the Netflix shows and are confused, all they gotta do is just go on Netflix and watch watch Daredevil. I mean, you got time. They got time to the next episode to get caught up. So all you got to
Right.
do, just watch it. That's the benefit of streaming. Just get caught up. But for the people that watch the show and say this is not a continuation, I don't know what they're seeing is because it clearly is a continuation.
Right.
And it's not just a continuation of the Netflix show, it's a continuation from Echo and Hawkeye.
Right.
And also, she's not in them at all. So when she shows up later, you don't immediately be like, oh, it's the social media influencer. It takes a moment to make that connection. So
Okay,
with
like,
the
is
first
Grace
two episodes,
stupid though? Like, the scene begins with him saying, "I got you this interview," and like
Yeah.
it's kind of implied it's a journalist. I mean, this is
She's
what
a
I mean.
journalist.
It's like she and there's oh my God, this is why I didn't want to watch it because I was so freaking annoyed by what she was saying. I'm like, I like Grace. I don't know if Grace is stupid. She's probably stupid. She's not. It's like there's some things that are so like painfully obvious by just listening to what is being said, and you'll understand what's going on. Um, so I don't know. It's like that's just weird fucking criticism, right? It's like, oh, well, the character is not like introduced properly. It's like the character was introduced, um, and that was in the second episode, mind you.
Yeah.
That was in the second episode. So they established that character in the first episode. So I don't know if she's not paying attention or what's going on, but I don't know, just really weird. Really weird. The that people are actually having difficulties, that is fucking hilarious. Yeah, I know. Is Grace stupid? You know the answer, obviously. Yeah, I know, right? That was a stupid question. I should be saying I'm stupid for
Yeah.
assuming she's not stupid. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, it's my fault
because
though.
yeah, it's just like, what is she even saying here?
premiere, again, Marvel on Disney.
And John Campbell is having an open mic. His topic is what's the worst Marvel TV show? It's simple. Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion, yeah. Yeah, Secret
That's
Invasion was really bad.
yeah.
Plus was like, we're giving you a movie. Like it's like a short movie, like a little under an hour and a half.
Maybe.
And the show, it aims high. I respect it for aiming high, and it does seem to be. It tries to be cinematic, but ironically, it felt more like TV than ever. In
It
fact,
is TV.
Oh, the
These
fuck cares?
what?
This is your
Yeah.
criticism.
Yeah.
Your do you see why I say I don't know what people want anymore?
Yeah.
Because the criticism before was that Marvel was the TV shows were too much like movies. So here's a show that
It's
is more like a traditional TV show. And here's her criticism coming in. So this is why I say certain people you can't listen to because they're all over the map and they can't
yeah.
even pinpoint what they want, right? So sorry, I was eating chocolate.
It's okay.
So it's stupid what she's saying here. This is ridiculous because I can go back and find you a video where she's talking about Loki or she's talking about Captain America, the Winter, sorry, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What other Disney Plus shows were there?
Like around that time.
WandaVision. I mean,
I
there
know.
was, and then you go back to when she does these streams talking about Marvel. She goes, "Oh, did the TV shows water down the movies because they're too similar?" So it's like, what you know what I mean? Like, it's like again, you're just saying fluff. You're saying nothing, right? You're just yapping. Yeah, she gets a pass from me for once. Yeah, she's looking chippy in that candy. Yeah, she's looking. She's looking a little bit all fucked up. I don't know if she
She's
fucking snorted some coke, and did this video, but
the grassy thinks she's on Adderall.
ridiculous. Oh, she does coke. She does coke.
Was this before or after? She definitely wore that dress. I wonder if it's because in honor of Daredevil, red and red. I don't know.
Mm.
And look, oh, that's not her middle finger. That sucked. Where the hell?
it felt a little bit like one of the more high end CW shows. Not even Netflix.
High NCW shows? Oh my god.
It felt a little
I watch
CW-y.
CW shows. This is not anywhere close to the CW shows. In fact, the Marvel shows are closer to CW than this.
Now, like reminded me of some of the like
No, you
slightly
say red.
more high end ones. I mean, what did you think? I mean, it just kind of felt that way to me. And also, the visuals are overly sharp, like working against the show. Not only does it give away the show's low budget, you're like, you don't. It's like, oh, I can clearly see the set that you can't afford.
What? Overly sharp? A set you can't afford? You're in a fucking bar. That might be it. Degrassi has a thing for Degrassi though blinded. Degrassi is. Oh, I know you're eating. Blinded. That's why he's not talking. But she really does look good in the video.
I know she looks drunked up.
What the fuck? She likes it dark.
Dark.
Oh.
Well,
And also, it has this thing in some of the action sequences that comes from 87 North's productions, where it's like clearly a set for, they have a lot of space for action, and you're like, but actual rooms in real life don't look like that. But yeah.
okay, so she says why they do it, right? In that
Yeah.
same sentence, and then she goes, "Well, rooms in real life don't look like that." Okay, it's a TV show / movie.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I mean. This is what you're focusing on. You're not focusing on the story. You're not focusing on the performance. You're not focusing on the technicality. You're nitpicking something that you already know the answer to. You know why it's like that. It's a low budget show, right? And you could say, okay, yeah, I kind of, the sets aren't good or whatever, but it's like here you go in more depth, and it's nothing. You're just saying absolutely fucking nothing here.
She probably does cocaine with Jessica Chastain on some.
No, I think she does cocaine by herself, or when she goes out with her quote unquote friends or whatever. I mean, if you've seen she that one time she took a picture of her apartment, that was bizarre.
Yeah.
That was truly bizarre. I don't think anybody's gonna remember that, but
Does she really film this like at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, or does she like do this at 11, 12?
reclogging. Well, who knows? Who knows when she filmed this? It's dark outside,
Does
right? So
she ever sleep?
Yeah, so
probably not.
the visuals are so
She's a vampire.
sharp that I think it's obviously a pain in the butt for the VFX team. The VFX team they don't have a budget either to come up with visual effects that are good enough to fit in with the sharp visuals.
I thought the visual effects were fine. Well, that's just me.
They stick out like a sore thumb. They're
I could see what people were talking about in the first episode.
Yeah.
Like the smoke was a little bit weird. Like I didn't think it was as bad as people were saying. I thought it was more like it was a stylistic choice that kind of mashed with the I guess you could say, yeah, the CGI and the editing and the cinematography. It did look a little bit weird, but I wasn't like totally off put by it. I was like, okay, this is kind of fitting the style of the original show. I mean, it wasn't like the original show had like John Wick levels of choreographed scenes with a slick cinematography. No, it was a little bit rough. I mean, if you go back and look at that season 2 where he's in the hallway climbing up the stairs, like it always had that kind of rough TV kind of look, right?
I'm sure.
So I wasn't bothered by that.
I'm sure Marvel gave them a bigger budget than Netflix did. Like,
yeah, they probably did. I mean, we haven't seen the rest of the show. Who knows what happens?
Yeah.
Actingly noticeable. You're like, ooh, he doesn't have to swing from the rooftops if you can't convincingly do it. It's okay. He didn't do it on the Netflix show, and we never felt that bad about it. So, but however, speaking of lots of VFX, let's talk about the opening.
Okay.
YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube and YouTube Music Premium, a whole app.
So one of you tweeted me and was like, whoa, were Karen and Foggy just bait to placate fans who wanted to see them return, but they're really only there for this like 15 or 20 minute, however long?
I believe, like you said, Foggy does fake his death. I believe that happens in Devil's Reign, part of Devil's Reign.
It's not part of Devil's Reign.
But
Mark
before
Waits.
that, right?
Yeah.
Before that.
Mark Waits did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, first of all, he wasn't supposed to be in it at all. I think the original plan was having been killed off, like off screen.
Mm.
Him and
Yeah, I
Deborah,
think that was supposed to
or
be the case too.
Karen. Well, yeah.
But I also feel like, I mean, yeah, that would have been way worse because you don't really get the impact. And at the same time, too, we don't really know. Again, I think that is a good point that they don't show a funeral, they don't show a body. We do see him die. But again, that's kind of similar to what happened with Foggy in the comics, right? Where he kind of, it was almost like a fake out, and then Daredevil really, he didn't want him to die again, or he didn't want other people targeting him, so he kind of put him away, kind of sent him away, right?
Yeah.
And then he eventually kind of comes back, right? Yeah, he's faked his
Karen
death
does.
multiple times. Yeah.
Karen
Oh,
does.
yeah, Karen hasn't. Yeah, she
Yeah.
dies. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, and so I don't know. There's I don't know why people are like upset, but at the same time, it's like, okay, again, people always criticize the MCU for not having any stakes. Nobody dies. No one dies in a way that feels impactful or meaningful, right? Look at Maria Hill with Secret Wars. That kind of is just glossed over,
Invasion.
right? Yeah, sorry, Secret Invasion.
Yeah, first
But yeah,
episode.
she just dies, and then it's just kind of like doesn't really impact anything, right? Even though she's been a character for basically a
Yeah.
decade at that point, right? So it's just
Or
weird.
she's been really forgotten, if you think
Yeah.
about it.
Like even Phil Coulson had a better death than Maria
Yeah.
Hill, right? Like
Yeah.
he was like part of the reason why the Avengers assembled, right? So yeah, I like, I don't know, like people want consequences, and this is a consequence, and this makes the story more interesting. It makes it more emotional. Yeah, it's a character that we love,
That's
but it's kind of similar to how people always act with Joel dying, right? They always get all fucking mad and shit, and you're like, but the story is very impactful for that reason. Like it's not a sign of disrespect, it's a sign of respect for the character,
yeah.
right? And that happens, people die. Like I don't know, people, I mean, this, we're dealing with a bunch of man children, so that's also why too,
Also,
right?
guys, you know how people complain about um, Batman. Some people don't want Batman to be grounded and want to be
Right.
fantastical like in Superman. Daredevil is a perfect example of a character who works in a world where there's people with powers, aliens, magic, but it's very grounded.
Mhm.
Like, so that's like people are hate Batman when they do that Batman, but don't realize Daredevil is in that world.
Right.
But yeah, this is the reason why the title's called Born Again. Okay,
Mhm.
because he gives up being Daredevil, obviously. With
Yeah,
Foggy's
it's like
death.
a double meaning, right?
Yeah.
Good
Was
point. That's a
opening?
good point.
Like, is Foggy really dead? When Daredevil pushed Bullseye off the roof in retaliation, and it seemed like Bullseye was dead. He should be dead. He should be dead. I was like, oh, it's a dream. It's a dream. He's gonna
No.
wake up in a cold sweat. It's gonna.
He said he took something in past.
Yeah,
in
in the
the-
third season, we see
Yeah.
him with an operation, and they're doing something to his skull and his sorry, his spine.
Do you know how many?
So that's what I was thinking.
Before he fell off, do you know how many things were in his body? Like,
Yeah,
like,
and yeah, Degrassi's like undead ninjas. Yeah,
yeah,
I
and
mean,
then yeah,
yeah. I mean, again, people are
It'll be
not
great.
paying attention, right?
yeah, exactly.
But it wasn't a dream. He did. I mean, by the way, in these first two episodes, Daredevil
Yeah.
killed a lot of people. Well, I mean, Bullseye
he did
survived,
not.
and I think one of those
He didn't kill people. He really injured him, but he didn't kill him.
Yeah, he did. Well, he didn't kill any of those cops, so I don't know
It
what
looks
she's
like he
talking
did, but
about
he
there.
didn't. Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, you're right. Go ahead. What were you gonna say, Blinded?
Yeah, I don't know what she's talking about here. It's kind of weird.
And
Winter Frog,
Winter Frog.
Cops might be
the
not dead.
Ripper Cinematic
One guy's, I
Universe.
think his neck snapped.
His neck didn't snap. He bashed his head, knocking him out. That's it. He didn't snap his neck. The other guy's arm was snapped. That's all. The guy on the left, on the right, that's the one who got his arm snapped or broken in half by. And the guy on the left is the one who bashed his head, right? To knock him out. That's the one who was going to go.
Mhm.
That's the one cop who was going to go murder. Who was part in the subway, right? It was in the subway taking on, right? It was in the subway, and the guy on the left, right? That was the guy who was in the subway with the other guy that got accidentally killed in this train. I remember that. I remember that the guy on the left was that guy.
Maybe he's just paralyzed. But I mean, Daredevil has.
He's probably like knee surgery, probably reconstruct his face, maybe concussed, definitely. But the problem is, if he wakes up, see now Matt Murdock puts himself in trouble now because because the guy did. If any of those guys do wake up, especially the guy on the right, because I don't think his head got bashed up, so he may not be unconscious or in a coma. He could really rat out Matt Murdock. The guy on the left possibly depends on his head injury.
Has a heck of a lot of nerve lecturing Fisk. I'm like, if you take
And
a look.
those guys are Punisher fans. Because you see the tattoo, right? Those guys are Punisher fans. And here's the thing. While the Punishers are vigilante, but cops are Punisher fans, that's dangerous. That's very dangerous. Because they protect each other. Cops know to protect each other. And if most cops are fans of Punisher, they could get away with so much shit. So much shit.
Mhm.
And that's just probably one of the reasons why you see Punisher back in the show. Because of this.
Mhm.
Look at your own body count, buddy. But yeah, it seems Daredevil really is a killer because the opening is not a dream, but a nightmare.
No, he's not a killer. You know how much shit we get in the killer if one of those guys wakes up and says, yeah, Matt Murdock wants to do this. Like, seriously.
I wish the show itself was that well written. I wish he had woken up in a cold sweat and you were like, it was a dream. And then
That would have
it
been
wasn't a
terrible
dream.
writing. Isn't that ironic? He's like, oh yeah, I was just like.
The fight ups did have editing issues. I agree there was a little bit of editing issues, but
that would have been great. The show sometimes is so close to greatness. They're so close. You're like, you can do it. You're almost there. But now, how do you like my
is she talking to a child, to a dog? What is he like? Seriously?
Daredevil
fucking
jacket?
knows?
But
He's like, come on, you could do it, you could do it, you could do it. Oh, it's like, come on.
by the way, it just came in the mail today. Okay, all right. I was like, whoo! It made it just in time for Daredevil. So I appreciate it, although these zippers are a little noisy on my desk. Sorry about that if that happens. Now, I appreciated the big swing out of the gate, but it had problems. Starting with what the heck was Bullseye wearing? Oh my God, is he doing emotional eating like the Grinch?
Bullseye look good to me. Like, what is she talking about?
Red Guardian? It looks so bad.
What?
Like, if Bullseye goes through the trouble to have these gorgeous, high-fashion details.
I don't remember much about season 3. Wasn't that basically the same costume as season 3? But there's a little bit of a
No, he didn't have this costume in season 3. He
no.
he didn't even have a costume. He just was wearing the Daredevil costume. That was it.
Oh, so he actually gets.
Yeah, he
so
was
where did
he was a sniper for Wilson Fisk.
So where did he get his
That was it.
costume this time?
Yeah, we don't know. That's part of the mystery. I mean, that's another thing too. Like, I seen people say like, why didn't they explain what was going on? And you're like, they are going to explain. It's a fucking TV show. They're not going to explain
Yeah.
everything in the first episode. Like, I feel like some people are like losing their fucking minds, right? Like, when in the hell has a TV show is going to tell you in the first episode every fucking thing that's going on?
Mhm.
Like, that's the whole point of the show, is to watch
People are
and see
impatient.
what happens.
They're
Yeah, people are
impatient.
fucking
They
impatient.
want
Yeah.
they don't want build up. That's the problem. I mean, good
They just want
shows.
everything fucking told to them. Like, it's just fucking insane.
Yeah, then good storytelling is build up, Build, especially TV. It's all about build up, right? It's all about build up.
Tailed gloves. I was like, "Ooh, I see you, Bullseye." But then what? He quit on the rest of the outfit. He spent his entire villain outfit budget on the gloves. I mean, it was ridiculous. Or maybe he just couldn't fit into the rest of the costume. But when he first picked the lock and killed the fly with the paperclip, and then you saw the gloves come into frame,
That's
I
pretty
was like,
cool.
"Oh, this is gonna be so good!" I was so excited. And then I saw him, and I was like, "Oh, yike! You want to? Why don't we just pretend this didn't happen? You go and change and come back." It was like he looked horrible. And also, why didn't Bullseye kill Foggy immediately?
You fucking idiots. He wanted to draw out Matt Murdock.
I mean, and then the thing is, like, instead of it being like, wonder what is gonna happen next, and then you can complain if it's not, they don't address it at all,
This
right? I can understand that. In the first season, they set up something and then they never address it. But isn't that a plot point? I mean, they bring it up again when Matt Murdock or when Matt Murdock's talking with Kingpin. He goes, "I swear I had nothing to do with the death of your friend," which is very suspicious because Bullseye has only worked with Kingpin. So why
yeah.
was Bullseye even doing that in the first place? Obviously, he
Is
still
it
has
is
the
it
vendetta
is it
against him, but still,
is
it's
it personal?
suspicious.
Yeah. Is it personal with Bullseye or someone hire him? Right? Because like Bullseye
Right,
is a hired assassin, right, by Kingpin. But if Kingpin says I had nothing to do with that, it puts doubt in Daredevil into Matt Murdock thinking, yeah, he probably did have something to do with that, or it could be personal. It puts doubt, like,
right,
and just like, why you just kill Foggy there with because I'm pretty sure Bullseye knows about Daredevil's abilities, the heart and able to hear and all that stuff is enhanced hearing and all that, right? Enhanced hearing and
right.
all that. Um, he probably wanted to draw him out for that, to get him out of the picture. That's the reason why. It's like. Okay, here's the thing. It's like this. Let's say Ra's al Ghul hires an assassin. I don't know, whatever. Lady Shiva.
Mhm.
Once assassinated one of Bruce Wayne's friends, right? But they know Batman is Bruce Wayne. They see Bruce Wayne coming out of his work office with a friend, right? So if it goes down at somewhere across the street, wherever, is a crime, not necessarily one of Bruce Wayne's friends, but a crime's going down to draw that person out. That's basically it. Try to get Batman out of the way so that Bruce Wayne's friends. It's like that's the point. It's a draw. It's to draw attention away from Foggy, so Bruce can kill Foggy. And think about it, was only like wasn't that far. It was like Foggy gave it away. It was what, like a 5 minute down the street, 5 minute walk. Yeah,
Mhm.
both of them events. Like seriously, it's like it doesn't take a rocket scientist. It was a draw. It was a draw. It was a draw.
Right. Yeah, I know, but yeah. I mean, whether it's revenge or not, I mean, it's a mystery. It's there to be like, why
Yeah,
did this happen? Like, Bullseye is a major character who always comes back into Daredevil's life,
yeah.
and so yeah, and then he even says, "Well, this time I wanted justice to be served, right, instead of letting Daredevil handle it." Because yeah, he was too emotional and stuff, and obviously, that is going to play out for the rest of the season because that's most likely his character arc, right? I mean, it's been 2 episodes and he's still dealing with that, right? Because he's obviously scared about what he could do in a fit of anger, right?
Mhm.
And so yeah, I don't. Again, it's like Grace is someone who watches movies and TV shows for a living, but yet she never understands like these basic fundamental things, basic fundamental what makes a story compelling, what
Yeah.
makes something interesting to watch.
This
These are
is
elements that all movies
he's
and shows have to have, right?
he's
To keep
battling
you
his
watching.
he's battling his mortality, his feelings, his emotions. That's what it's about. That's
Right.
like
I mean, that's part of the character. I mean, and
yeah.
the fact that people are complaining about this, to me, I always think now that the people complaining, they are fans, but they're not. they're not people who are very familiar with the source material and understand what the comics do sometimes, what they fail at. These people, like again, with this whole Fantastic Four conversation, that to me kind of exposed
These
these people say that they know these characters, but they really don't.
that's that's
They have
that's
a
where
vague understanding of them. They
that's
may be
where him and
fans of
Batman
other media, but they're not
that's
deep
where him and
fans. You know
Batman
what
are
I
very
mean?
similar because they both have villains that would push them to the over edge where they could go over the edge. Like Joker does it to
Mhm.
Batman all the time, and Batman always
Right.
battles that. Like that's where they're very similar, Batman and Daredevil.
Like you certainly could have. He's freaking Bullseye. He could do a kill shot that would have killed Foggy.
Yeah, but he could have heard them or something. He could have heard footsteps. He could have heard things. Maybe you're forgetting Matt Murdock's enhanced hearing.
Mhm.
Immediately, but he didn't. He died a slow death. Now, was that intentional just to torture Daredevil, right?
Yes.
Or was there more to it? What was the motive? Was Bullseye hired? I was
Of course, is there the most tortured Daredevil? What do you think? Of course. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is
surprised
why
that
I say
Daredevil
brace
never
for
bothered to
mouth.
look into it. He just
Yeah. Yeah.
what an ego on Matt Murdock. He was like, "Oh, I've been fridged. Poor Foggy was fridged for my benefit. Oh well. Oh, how sad." I was
He
like,
wasn't
"Dude, maybe it didn't."
Holy fucking hell. Oh my God. Like, this is what I mean, right? Like, people take terms and they don't. Bridge is a term for a character that there's a supporting character who's really meaningless, right? Like Kyle Rayner's girlfriend, right? She was barely in the fucking comics, right?
Yeah.
And then they kill her off in this fucking
I
disgusting way
know.
for you to be like, holy shit, right? But Feige or I just keep saying Feige. Why the hell am I saying that? Fuck, because it's just Foggy is just such a. I always was like such a weird fucking nickname. Foggy as a character is like the supporting cast of Daredevil is like very deeply connected with Matt, right? And so when these people
Yeah.
die, it's supposed to I mean, yeah, these people are at stake because of his life, right? So I mean, again, like people, this happens to people in real life, right? So it's not like a fridge. A fridge is it's supposed to be like, yeah, the character is really just there to die, and they aren't even a character within themselves. But we know that if this is supposed to be, again, this is why I say they go, it's not a continuation, but the show treats it as a continuation, and we've seen the development of his character and their friendship. They have lots of scenes together, even flashbacks together when they were in college. So
Yeah.
this just simply, again, it's like all over the place in terms of what she's trying to argue, right? And no one's going to call her out on this and say that this is like totally inconsistent of what you're saying.
Have anything to do
You're
with
right.
you even? Why don't you look into it? All right, he's not really that much of a detective, which is why he had to hire that retiring police or detective to help.
Because he's not a
Well, he
detective.
didn't. Well, he hired that guy because that guy knows his identity. So, I mean, I thought that was pretty obvious. Like he saw him take
Figured
off the
out, yeah.
mask. And
Yeah.
so it's like he better keep that
And
guy around, right?
and it's pretty normal for attorneys to actually have like
Yeah, an
private detective.
investigator or private
Yeah,
eye.
investigate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's normal. So, yeah. And yeah, of course, and they're
And
friends
that's where
too.
people were saying, oh, it's like a CW supporting cast. And you're like, you guys are fucking idiots, right?
Yeah,
Who knows high top film? That guy was saying that. And it's like, dude, like you were fucking hyping up fucking a lot of these other fucking like the original Daredevil movie and shit like that. And you're like, buddy, like I don't fucking get these people. It's like, and then like years later, shit goes by and everybody changes their tune on something. And it's like, oh, Batman vs Superman is like one of the best fucking movies of all time.
oh, it's already good.
10 years later, yeah, 10 years later, it was always a good fucking. And you're like, what? And then they gaslight everybody who
Yeah.
doesn't like it. It's like,
The
what?
only time where I'll change my mind on a movie is if I see that movie as a kid.
I mean, people listen. Movies they do like perceptions do change
Yeah,
on movies, but there are again, I use Batman versus Superman as an example because when you go back and you hear people say no, it's not as bad as people remember, most people still say no, it's bad. You know, like it's not Blade Runner. It's not a movie
sure.
where oh multiple cuts later it's a great fucking movie. No, it's not. It's just a simply flawed fucking
No,
movie.
Blinded.
I
You want
thought
to know?
film is great. Oh yeah, because he
Raimi,
rides Sam Raimi's dick. Yeah.
Blinded. You want to know? Want to know something?
What?
Justice League 2017 is a much better movie now I look at it than it was back 7 years ago.
Yeah, there's gonna be people who are gonna say that soon.
Yeah, it's a good thing he didn't. It's good. That's a good joke.
Help him in his new law firm. Well, he's a little bit of a detective. I mean, why didn't he just try and beat the crap out of beat the information out of Bullseye? It was weird that he just dropped it, which
He didn't.
makes it seem even
Oh my
more.
God, these like oh my fucking God, right? Like I do wonder, is Grace even a human being? Does Grace have like emotional attachment to people? Yeah, your best friend that you know for years, who's your fucking coworker, this guy who you put basically living your entire life with, right? And depend on professionally,
Yeah,
right? Privately, and you see him die, you're going to fucking flip out. I don't know. This is why I say some people I don't think they haven't experienced things because I've experienced when people have died in front of me and the way that people act around it when people pass away. People go berserk, right?
yeah.
People go
People
absolutely
mourn
berserk.
differently. Yeah.
Yeah, people mourn differently, but it's like when you see people who are emotional, especially someone who is, remember, Daredevil is a violent person, right? This is something again that it's like these people don't understand the fucking shit they're watching. Daredevil is a character who's conflicted about his aggression. He goes to fucking a
Hmm.
church and talks with his fucking priest about the shit that he's doing because he feels extremely guilty about what he's doing because it's a
Yeah.
fucking sin. Right. And he feels
He's
like
a
a monster for
sociopath.
doing it. That's why he's called Daredevil. He dresses up as a fucking devil and he's a fucking Catholic or like, well, like, you see what's fucking going on here? Do you see why I get
Yeah.
pissed off at this woman?
Definitely a
It's like
sociopath.
she doesn't make fucking sense. Holy shit. Oh my
Feel like that
God.
opening was to some degree tacked on. By the way, this is obviously a nod to when Bullseye kills Elektra in the comics. Wow.
No, it's not.
This is a nod for a lot of different stuff, right? Like you could say this is a nod for Shadowland because that's where he killed Bullseye. He straight up killed Bullseye in
Yeah.
Shadowland, right? So it's like it could be a fucking nod for a lot of different shit that happens. Daredevil and Punisher, Bullseye, Daredevil and Bullseye go up against each other a lot of times, and they have emotional battles because it's almost like it's very similar to Batman and Joker, right? But way more aggressive, right? Because
Joker's more
Batman's always trying to help.
psychological
Well,
because the
Batman's
Joker
always trying
doesn't
to
let.
help the Joker. Well, Daredevil is like,
Yeah.
fuck Bullseye, right? Bullseye's a
Yeah.
piece of shit, and then like he just gets in the fucking way, which I
Joker
agree
wouldn't
is a piece
fight
of
the
shit
Batman
character.
though. I mean, that's the thing. Joker
Yeah,
depends on the Joker.
Bullseye is a psychopath. I mean, they're both psychopaths, right?
That's but
But he's Bullseye's fucking nuts, right?
I mean, they did do a crossover in the comics, and Daredevil did confront the
Yeah.
Joker.
Yeah, she must have something because it's like I don't. Does she hear what she's saying? Like, why didn't he do anything? Why did he just throw him off the balcony? Did you not see him fucking see his best friend die and fucking lose his fucking shit?
Hmm.
Like again, it's like like we're supposed to expect that her criticism of what the character should act like is accurate. Meanwhile, she's the one who doesn't know how fucking people act. You know what
What
I mean? Like.
the hell, Red? Oh my God, Red!
You say, no, there's a nod. I come in grace. Whoa, whoa,
Case
without her
Cop.
knowing. And then shit in her bathtub wiped. What the fuck? The Penguin played Bullseye. Yeah, Colin Farrell was Bullseye.
That's true.
At the
Isn't it
time, she
funny
was,
that
I believe,
Ben
Daredevil.
Affleck and Colin Farrell played a Batman characters and Daredevil characters?
Yeah.
Daredevil's love interest, which is why Bullseye killed her. She kind of got fridged a little bit, but she was a real character, so it's
She
not
didn't
the
get
same.
fucking
But yeah, it was
fucking. Oh my fucking god.
They became they're not family, but it became kind of estranged. Like they kind of drifted apart after Foggy's death. Foggy's death really affected the relationship. Right? Like that's what
Yeah.
implied when they went to the courtroom for Bullseye's arraignment, right?
Right. Yeah, I do agree, Degrassi. These people are fucking. It's a front. Yeah, for they got
Marvel Studios, yeah.
DID 100%.
Marvel Studios
Marvel
is gonna
Studios
be
is gonna be
fine,
fine.
Kevin.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, yeah.
It was a traumatic moment for Daredevil, and when I saw this happen to Foggy, I was like, oh, they're trying to replicate that, but with Foggy. It almost,
But that happens
I
with every single fucking Daredevil supporting cast character. That something is gonna tragic happen to them, and he has to deal with it, right? And these are characters who are well established. They are part of the story. I mean, it happens, right? You get to see a lot of the tragic characters who pop up in Daredevil's life. Like Echo, right? Echo shows up with Daredevil, and they're very similar characters in terms of their backstory and history, and so they kind of lean on each other. And but
And they
you know,
both
she's still a tragic character, right?
deal with she's deaf, she's blind, they both deal with
Yeah,
he's like, yeah. Get the idea, it's
yeah.
a
So
struggle.
they have their own similar sort of struggles.
Yeah.
Um, and that's, I mean, again, it's like if you've read any sort of run of Daredevil, you would understand that this is kind of a underlying theme of the character, that the character is surrounded by tragedy. Which is the point because it's supposed to be ironic, right? He's a devoted Catholic who's a lawyer who by night is a brutal vigilante. Like
Yeah.
it's supposed to be ironic,
He's
right?
the huntress.
And like well, even more so
I
because
know.
it leans into all his you know, his
Yeah.
religion, right? And how that's important to who he is, right? He's a very conflicted character.
Be careful
So,
sideways. You may see her on Tinder.
oh my God.
Grace has the same speech in Pen Missouri. Just notice that the concept art leaks are yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to see Elektra actually recast, but I would have preferred it actually if they'd done this dramatic opening with Elodie Young. Well, what would you have preferred? Because then it would really be comics accurate. I think that would have
They
been
already
better.
killed Elektra. She
And
doesn't even remember that. They already killed Elektra, and it wasn't from Bullseye. It was the leader, was it the leader of the hand? I forget his name, but he was
Oh,
in season 1 and 2. We saw Daredevil fight him in season 1, and then he came back in season 2, and yeah, he was part of the hand, and he killed her, right? And I was a little bit upset at that because I
maybe
felt
season
like,
two.
why didn't they just save that for Bullseye? And I
I
always
thought
had a theory that Bullseye was supposed to be in season 2. That was always been my theory, but she's
uh,
not dead. I think, well, because I mean, she did die in she died, but then she came back in Defenders. Yeah, Nobu.
yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
cleaning it. Well, she has her own show, the actress.
Yeah, that's probably why she hasn't come back. But
Yeah,
I'm sure
and
they're gonna bring her back.
probably. I mean, like, yeah, I can see that. What? What was that, Red? Dumb bitch wanted to get her recast, and immediately said she
Sure.
wants to. Ah,
then
Yeah, I
Foggy
know. They
wouldn't be dead. All right, so this extended fight sequence to me played a little
and
bit
then
like a
also,
stunt show, and I
by the way, it would be meaningless to bring back Elektra and then kill her off again.
yeah, that's stupid. That's really stupid. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
she already died once. She came back. There's really no reason to keep doing that, right? I think it's kind of pointless.
yeah,
could see the tricks. Like when they had the smoke, the very CGI smoke bomb, and then also the flickering lights. Those weren't stylistic choices. I mean, they might have doubled as stylistic choices, but they were clearly there to hide the limitations of the budget and the fight choreography. They were like, and the VFX. So that was a little frustrating because I was like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I loved, though, hearing Foggy's heartbeat during the fight, but they didn't use it enough. Daredevil only listened in momentarily. That should have been playing over the entire fight scene, slowing down. And it would be distracting Daredevil, but also fueling him in his rage. That would have been great.
Nitpicking too much, Grace.
Yeah, I mean, they did exactly what you say. She just wanted it to be more, I guess, auditory. It's like, okay, it's whatever. I feel like it's a nitpick. It's a cool idea, but like they did exactly that. It just wasn't so focused on the audio, right? Or the sound effects, I should say.
Grace is a bitch who's crying while sitting on the curb alone outside a nightclub.
Jeez.
He's
going hard.
Guys,
I ain't saying that.
Right?
Oh man.
What are you gonna say?
No, I can't. I'm not saying all that crap. Red's going hard.
Yeah, Red is going hard. Like Red's hardcore today.
Like
I mean, it
when
was
you
a
have
very
two haters come
that
at you
was
in
a
the chat,
great.
but they're the same person and they know that they're the same person. Fun. Oh man.
Yeah.
Idea creatively, but they just didn't go far enough with it. Again, you're like, you're almost there, but then at the last minute, you chickened out. And in a bar full of cops and lawyers for the city, how did Daredevil and stuff not get more of an assist? Only those two, the retiring detective and like I guess his partner or something helped out. I was like, this is an entire bar of like.
Well, because they're the two main characters. Because easy. Matt Murdock was the main character. Daredevil was the main character, and that guy is a very important character. In a realistic setting, of course. In real life, of course. But this is a movie. This is a TV show. They'll highlight Daredevil and one of the supporting characters. They're not going to highlight random cops and lawyers. I'm sorry.
Right.
It's just how it is. That's just how it is. It's been in entertainment for years. Okay? Like that's why they do it. They're like background actors. Okay? Like
people. Why don't you guys help out? And so yes, retired.
But there was people Bullseye was killing in the bar too, like when they were walking out. And on top of that too, she's like, why don't they help them out, right? And one of the first things is, I mean, first off, he threw a fucking smoke grenade in there. But it's supposed to get people out of there, right? And there's still people in there, so it's like, yeah, again, Grace is not she. Like I have to agree, like she must be a sociopath or some shit. Like no one is gonna be like, oh, this fucking terrorist guys in the bar shooting up people. We need to go get them. And there's like people on the ground fucking dying, and there's fucking smoke everywhere and shit. Like you don't know what the fuck is going on. And again, that's not how fucking shit
And think
goes,
about
right?
it. Think about it. If they started shooting randomly with smoke, they end up killing each other.
Yeah, she talks about. Remember how she was just talking about realism?
Yeah.
Well, what is realistic? Everybody in the bar being like, let's beat up this fucking terrorist guy who just showed up shooting up people in the bar. Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna go well, right? Like never, if this lady was around us while shit was going haywire, oh, we would be fucked, right?
We'd be dead.
Yeah, we would be dead 100%.
Daredevil was never able to escape the pull of about half dozen or so comic book writers.
I love how Red switched to his account just to make sure. He was like, oh yeah, you're right. I should say this shit in the chat. Let me go on my stock account.
The realistic peeker look crazy. Red Iron doesn't go with everything. Black.
Hiring detective who learned Daredevil's identity went on to work with him because Fog is dead
Well, I don't think she did, Christian. I don't think she figured that. The guy behind her did. That's
Yeah,
what I know.
Cherry, right? You're talking about Cherry?
Guy named Cherry?
Yeah, the cop who discovered Daredevil's identity.
Yeah, his name is Cherry.
Yeah, his name's Cherry. Yes,
Why is that such a feminine name?
it's a weird name for sure.
But I don't think
The only
she
reason
knows the
why I
ID.
know, or well, I mean, they say his name multiple times, but I didn't know it was Cherry. I thought
Who said
it
it was
was Jerry, but it is
Cherry?
Cherry. Yeah.
And Karen moved to San Francisco. Feige! I saw a couple.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck? Feige, what?
Yeah, the
Would
delusions of
retweet
Grace
or
Randolph.
say that. You were just like, "What'd you do to me?" All right, so let's talk real life Easter eggs. As a New Yorker, I will fill you in.
New Yorker.
So they all revolve around Wilson Fisk as a clear Donald Trump stand-in, and Donald Trump.
Oh, but Milton Fisk was when would in the comics when did Fisk become mayor? What year? Because
Was
Trump
it
became president in
2018?
When?
I can't remember if 2018, 2019.
Oh
The start and around Devil's Reign, or the start
shit.
of what's it called? Chip Zdarsky's run. Chip
Okay.
Zdarsky. It might have been maybe actually 2022, not 2018.
This is not the first time a
2022.
villain. This is not the first time a villain has become politician in comics. Okay.
No, we've seen that happen tons and tons of times, especially in the Marvel universe. That is not it's
Yeah.
not a rare thing to happen.
I mean, it's happened in DC, but Lex Luthor becomes a fucking president.
Right, yeah. I mean even outside of the comics too, we've seen them do that too. So,
Yeah.
and on top of that too, I mean the storyline is interesting. It's kind of turns into like a Civil War scenario, but Kingpin is trying to he's basically trying to just take out all the superheroes and have complete control over
Yeah.
the entire city, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's what basically his goal was. That's what he basically said in about vigilantes and stuff.
Hmm.
Trump, of course, also hails from New York, and Vanessa is even Melania coded.
They
down to her-
recast the actress. That's a different actress.
No, it's the same actress. They brought her back.
Didn't they? They brought her back.
Yeah, they brought her back because they
originally
recast her, and then they brought her back when they did the reshoots.
Oh yeah, because they had a different actress they had a different actress signed on, right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if I was an actress, I'd probably be pissed off. Maybe she got money. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there were some people. I mean, she got money and stuff, but yeah, I mean, it does suck though.
her and Fisk not spending a lot of time together.
Of course not.
So last night, by the way, I saw Mickey 17, where Mark Ruffalo was also doing a Trump impression. But while Ruffalo is his impression,
What? I didn't see the movie, so I can't really say.
Yeah, I
but
haven't
the
seen it yet.
caricature, D'Onofrio and the Daredevil Born Again creative team, I think, draw more nuanced parallels and observations. For instance, one of the things that they
I
have
thought you
here,
said
which I
the show
haven't really
wasn't
seen
well
discussed.
written.
yeah, I thought you said that. Oh, is every villain in whether it's Marvel, whether it's the comics, TV show, or movies, is it always going to compare to Trump now that they're gonna become some sort of
Well, it was like that before,
politician?
right? Remember when
Yeah.
Trump got in office and people were accusing Logan of talking about border patrol and all that shit? Remember that? So, I mean, it's not
It's
surprising.
it, I hope it doesn't scare away writers. I definitely didn't scare the Daredevil writers, but I hope it doesn't scare away comic book writers from doing stuff like that.
No,
'Cause
I hope so. I mean, why? I mean, they haven't stopped them even in the time
yeah, I
period. I
know.
hope it doesn't stop them now, just because fucking Trump is being a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, I mean this happened before Trump. This happened before Trump. It's happened before Trump that they made a villain a politician. It's just because Trump is in charge. I mean, Lex Luthor, when he was president, he was doing all like things that you think Trump would do, but he's smarter than Trump.
Mhm.
Anywhere else in Hollywood depictions is highlighting Trump Fisk's popularity with young men.
crime
Which here
buff
is highlighted
office,
by
yeah.
Michael Gandolfini's Donald Blake.
You know what they should do? They should have the Joker run for presidency. Let's see how people accept that. Shout out to Canada for making America its bitch. John De La Rose was complaining about Daredevil, Born Again, not having Christian, having the Trump agenda.
Okay, but oh my god,
The fake comic book guy.
Daredevil's not a Christian. He's Catholic.
Yeah.
But why would it? Oh yeah, they share some similarities, duh. But I mean, that's total. I mean, if you're Catholic, you're not gonna say you're a Christian.
Well, this is John D.A. He doesn't know anything about comic books.
He doesn't fucking know anything. I mean, yeah, he's sitting there and bumfuck. I don't know what the fuck that guy does. He's fucking furries and Pokemon or some bullshit. I mean, he says everybody's a degenerate, but
85%.
everybody knows he's got this secret
I
fucking
didn't
life
see-
going on in the back.
Exactly. I can see this as Superman with the Trump.
Yeah,
thing.
he's not no Christian. He's hiding
That's-
behind Christianity because he's a degenerate sick fuck. And he needs to go to church to fucking repent because he's a sinful bastard. That's what he
Him and
is.
Melanie
Fuck
Mack.
JD Vance. Yeah, they're sinful people and they hide behind religion, but God knows deep down inside that they're pieces of shit.
God knows all.
Yeah.
Right?
There's different types of sectors, right? I mean, the thing is,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's just stupid, man. Like these people are fucking
I feel
idiots.
that's become.
I hope it's just not very well done in these 2 episodes, because right now he's not the greatest actor. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. So Blake, by the way,
What do
mentions
you say is not the greatest actor? Which guy? The James Gandolfini's son? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention there. Who did she say
I
was not the
think she
greatest?
was. I think maybe she is talking about, James Gandolfini's son.
Yeah.
What's his first name?
Oh, what is his son's first name, guys? Degrassi would know.
I don't remember his first name.
Yeah.
Staten Island is Fisk country, and interestingly enough,
Oh, he's
Trump
more
won.
than not just a retard sideways.
He's
He
the
needs
mayor
to
of New
stop
York.
going to church and instead go to my kitchen. Well, I think she needs, first off, Melanie
wish-
Mack needs severe help.
I wish George
She,
was here.
she needs to talk with her pastor about the way she's treating people.
Oh, I wouldn't be
online.
surprised if the church she goes to,
Michael, his name's Michael Gandolfini. There we go.
Michael. I wish George was here. He could help us
Yeah.
with New York geography. I mean, like, I know a bit of New York, but like, I'm not like an expert.
Right.
That's the only New York City borough that Trump won all 3
Did he play his father in the Soprano prequel movie?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's because I knew he looked familiar.
times that he ran for president. And the effectiveness of the unconventional approach, from a candidate being appealing because they're not your standard politician, to also working with influencers over traditional media, like BB Yurick. Although I don't.
See, what they're doing great here is that they're getting the young people, because you can tell it's the young people that are Kingpin's trying to get to vote for him. Let's be honest,
Right.
young people now are stupider and stupider than they were in the past. I'm sorry. They're more
I think
easily
most young
influenced.
people don't even care about politics.
But the ones that do are just not intelligent.
Mm.
And they look on social media. It's a reflection of the real world right now. Right? That's what's happening. And Fisk is definitely playing into that.
It seems like it was working for her, but I was like, hey, BB Yurick, don't you want another interview? I mean, I can understand, pushing him and testing the waters and trying to get something good information out of there, but play the long game, BB. Think of your uncle. And I do wonder
Oh, shut up. Crazy Mo.
if she knows that Fisk killed her uncle in an earlier season.
Probably not.
Probably not. That's probably the fucking plot point this season, is that she's gonna find out, right?
Yeah.
Again, kind of a stupid question. I mean, first off, they didn't even. I'm pretty sure Daredevil knows that he killed Kingpin, but that wasn't like a widely known thing. I mean, even when you hear in the first episode, I believe they were talking about when Kingpin smashed that guy's head in with the car,
Yeah,
right? In the
yeah,
first season, and they said that was a
yeah.
rumor, right? So there's certain things that aren't really known about him, even though he did went to prison, right? So yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? Um,
Ben Ulrich. No. Okay, there's really 7. Hell's Kitchen is not in Staten Island though, isn't it? Like
no, it's not. It's like on the west side of the
Manhattan?
city.
Yeah. It's in
Yeah.
Manhattan, right? The west side of Manhattan, isn't it?
I don't think it's in Manhattan. I think it's close by Manhattan.
So Daredevil is the
I don't know. You
protector of
have to pull up a
Manhattan.
map.
Daredevil is the protector of Manhattan, but Spider-Man is the protector of New York City. So wouldn't that be Spider-Man to be a protector of Hell's Kitchen
Like
too?
Daredevil comes in. I'm sorry, Spider-Man does come into Hell's
I
Kitchen
know.
quite some time. I mean, but
Yeah.
yeah, certain characters like Luke Cage would stay in Harlem, right?
Yeah. Spider-Man is a whole New York City, right? Everybody in New York, whether it's the suburbs or Manhattan, it's Spider-Man. Some
Yeah.
characters, some heroes will just stay in their
I mean,
borough.
and if you think about it too, it kind of makes a little bit of sense because Spider-Man can travel pretty fast compared to
Yeah.
the other characters.
Yeah, he can just use the reps. That's it.
Hell's Kitchen is in Manhattan. Okay. Well, yeah, I know it's on like the west
New
side of.
York.
Everyone says there's only 5 boroughs, but there's like 7. Don't tell anyone. It says I don't even live anywhere near New York. Oh my God. No,
And do
I know
you
absolutely
remember,
nothing
or
about
did
New
you ever
York.
even get to see Vondi Curtis Hall's Ben Urich? If you didn't, I feel sorry for you because it was an incredible performance. This was an iconic performance. You know what? This was a character that was killed 10 years ago in the first season in
It'd
2000.
be cool, but
Yeah,
they're
it
not gonna
was.
do it. If she wants revenge, oh, it's just no. They're not
Yeah, he
gonna do.
was killed 10 years ago.
They're not gonna make her the
I'm joking, but
Hobgoblin.
some New Yorkers will claim their neighborhood is the 6th or 7th
Oh, really? Red
borough.
is from Red is from Texas and the Whippers. What
Yeah,
is?
Red lives with Eric July. I'm
Are
not sure
these?
if anybody
I
knows
don't know,
that.
guys. Is the Whipperverse are Texans? Is people that live in Texas because it's a separate country still called Texans? Then that's still it. Like the
Mm,
like Americans, Canadians, are they called Texans in the Whipperverse because it's like his own country? So they keep that. Do they keep
yeah, who
that?
knows?
2015. And let me tell you, I still think about Ben Urich to this day, even
Sounds so
I'm sure she
wrong.
does. As
before tonight's
56K
episode.
said, she likes
Sometimes
it
I just
dark.
think
It's dark. There's nothing to
I
about
mean,
here.
yeah, I mean, he was a good character. He was a good character, but I mean, I did like that plot point. I mean, and it kind of like reached its conclusion, right? The sad shit. I mean, even Kingpin's buddy got fucking killed too, and he was pretty good. He was a pretty good character too. I forget his name. Was it Wesker? No, it wasn't Wesker. Was
Oh,
it?
Wesker. Wesker's
I
funny
can't
name.
remember his name. What was his name? The
Oh,
guy with the glasses, and he gets shot by Karen.
oh, I forget.
Yeah, that's what I was. I thought it was Wesker, but it's probably not. Does anybody know remember his name?
She likes some red.
He likes them red. She likes the dark meat. Good. Well, red is not even dark. Red is like, I
No,
mean, he's red.
he's red. He's the last one of his race, red people.
Right.
He's the last one, and he was sent here by from the planet Red to be our savior of mankind. Yeah, I'm still enough of Superman.
think about Vondi Curtis Hall's performance. I loved it so much. Maybe because I like the
She
journalistic
thinks about to this day.
aspect to it. He really moved
Bruh.
me. I thought it was very well written. His death was
I am.
haunting. That was the power of
Wesley. Wesley is his name. Okay. I didn't know why I thought it was Wesker. I'm like, think it was close. It was a W. The W name, yeah. Uh, because she likes Red Hulk. Oh yeah, that is true.
Oh,
She
that's
likes it red
true.
and dark. That is
She
true.
was horny. Yeah, she was horny for Red Hawk. Oh my god.
That is
Yeah.
true. We forgot. We forgot.
I asked for Robert Downey Jr. to have a good accent in Avengers Doomsday because his British accents. I mean, Doom is not British, but when you see Robert Downey Jr. try British roles like Sherlock Holmes and Doctor Doom, he's not good at British accents.
Hmm.
Of Daredevil on Netflix. I'm serious. I still every once in a while for the past 10 years I would think of that. It's I think one of the MCU deaths or MCU adjacent deaths because the Netflix shows were technically MCU
now.
although not really.
Although not really,
because Kevin Feige hated Jeff Loeb and wouldn't really acknowledge them.
Oh, that's Did you say technically they're MCU adjacent? Although not really.
They're MCU. They're part of the MCU, Grace. Okay, they're part of the MCU. So just relax.
And her reason is because Feige and Jeff Loeb don't like each other. Like what? That's not a good reason.
No, it's not.
But 10 years. That is, I think, again, one of the MCU deaths that has, I think, really made one of the biggest impressions on me. All right, so also in episode 2,
I think about you every day and night. You know that song, right? With Space Jam. I believe I could fly.
The character's name was Wesley. Yeah. So I did see that. Wesley. Grace likes it. Flaming hot Red Hulk. Yep.
Fisk fills a hole in the street, as you might have noticed. It was a weird thing to do, right? You're like, what a weird thing. But it's a reference to how Arnold Schwarzenegger, in a viral stunt, filled a pothole on his street. And I thought it was very interesting. They decided
also was to show he's getting things done.
Right. Well, I didn't even know that. That's actually interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
To reference that, I was like, wow, what a deep real life political cut. And Fisk.
Well,
yeah, you know how she likes to say when something is obscure or whatever. The deep cut.
That was Fisk just trying to show. Yeah, he's one of those spotters who actually does get things done.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is why, they gravitate toward him, and then he starts to go, well, now that I have their kind of influence, now I can say, well, fuck the superheroes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then people, so we'll see that play out. They definitely need more heroes though involved because I think it becomes a lot more interesting when other characters are involved and they lock up Daredevil and. I liked all that stuff. I thought that was interesting.
Grace looks like her favorite candy is Mike and Ike's.
Oh boy.
References Mayor LaGuardia, who is not a comic book character, but a real life New York City mayor.
Oh yeah, because they have an airport.
Potholes. Oh my god.
Just and Degrassi, I think you would regret that.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah, LaGuardia, we know Grace. There's a fucking airport name under him.
LaGuardia Airport, thank you very much. And he was a Republican, but he was one that was widely respected, in fact, by many Democrats. So that was an interesting reference.
That's when politicians were not crazy and hated each other back then.
I will say it's crazy to tune into a Daredevil show, and with the exception of the opening sequence and then the end.
You know what's funny? I can't stop laughing at seeing Kingpin with the. It looks like a bib. It looks like he's wearing a bib. It's not a bib, but you know babies wear a bib. It looks like a big bald baby with a bib. Yeah.
Oh, when he was eating the food. I like that scene though, where he's talking and then he lifts up the paper, and it's the guy's like secret kid.
Yeah.
And then he goes afterward, oh, that food was shit. That was funny as hell. I like that, yeah.
Because the commissioner had a secret child. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he uses a blackmail, right, to keep him on as commissioner.
I like that scene a lot.
It just looks like a giant baby. That looks like fucking heel babe versus baby face. Sorry.
Yeah, it does. That's what I mean though. Like how like that scene was great, and he shows like his this is he's still playing that game even as mayor. Um,
Yeah,
and so it's like, yeah, I'm like confused, right? Like no one was talking about that scene, but I was like, that was a good scene, right?
yeah.
It's funny. It got to
He's
showed
still
you that
willing to
he's
play
still the same
dirty.
man. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
still yeah, he's gonna just find new ways around it,
yeah.
which is interesting because now I want to see how Daredevil does that now too, right? But again, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Air July fades into obscurity as his employees has a major motion picture opening worldwide. Yeah,
Ultron
he's
Dixon.
yeah.
Oh,
Which,
Air
by the
July.
way, that movie looked like we something that already came out on Amazon.
Air July's going to premiere, right, Degrassi?
Is he?
I don't
Jeez,
think
I
so. Does Chuck Dixon even go to the premiere?
wouldn't be surprised
Episode
if he
2.
did.
Air July, you're fired. You're fired. You went with you decided to sell your soul to Hollywood for that movie. You sold your soul.
Mm.
To have the two main characters focusing on running the city, Kingpin's like, no NYPD raises or overtime. And then Matt
Yeah.
Murdock's like, that should not be considered relevant to the case. The jury should not hear about that. I'm like, what am I watching here? Prequel Star Wars?
What?
Prequel Star Wars. Is Grace does Grace not know that Daredevil is a legal show, a legal drama show as well?
I mean, is
Does she not
politics
realize that?
involved? Yeah. Like,
Does she
yeah,
does she
right?
did she like again like these people who are like, oh, it's like a CW show. It's like you guys do realize it's a legal drama show. It's always been a legal drama show. I
Yeah.
mean, we had the whole case with the Punisher. Then the previous season they were also I forget, by the way, I wish they brought that cop back from the third season. I don't remember his name too. I don't know if he died. I don't remember that he died. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird, like that she said that. It's like, all right, Looney
I
Grace
mean, it's just
again.
crazy. It's I'll be curious to see how that goes over. And I'm wondering why, the Netflix shows weren't heavy on action. So I'm curious as to why it stands out so much here. Maybe again because there was more story. They were sucking you in with the story. Now,
Well,
speaking of
there's lots
Star
of
Wars,
story
I gave
going on.
Yeah.
Ah, I don't know what the hell. It's like I don't know what's the difference or whatever. It's like maybe the difference is you haven't seen Daredevil in 7 years. Maybe that's the difference, and you just don't remember
Remember,
what how
yeah.
the tone and the genre and how it was structured and everything. There was multiple different plots going on
Did she
besides just Daredevil.
did she expect
So
this to be like Disney-fied, like MCU-fied?
I don't know. I don't know what people expected. I guess they yeah, they didn't want it to be Disney-fied, but then they got something that wasn't Disney-fied, but I guess they also didn't like it. So it's like I don't know. Like the criticisms that were coming
She-Hulk.
out, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
I agree.
Andor a very hard time over lack of Easter eggs. And I was right.
Oh,
Andor had very poor ratings. We'll see how season 2 does. But I
yeah.
feel at least with these
I
first two
doubt
episodes, Daredevil
hold
has
on.
the opposite.
I doubt Andor would have been gotten more viewership just based on Easter eggs. And she's like, I'm right. No, no, you're not.
Yeah.
And Andor is a character from Rogue One, and the moment that people heard about Andor, people were like, "Why are they making an Andor show?
Yeah,
That's kind
because we
of
saw
weird."
his fate. Like we know
Yeah,
what
we already
happened.
knows that he's died, right? So,
Yeah.
so yeah, like this is just weird. You know what I mean? Like people just saw it as okay, this is not traditional Star Wars. It's not The
Mm.
Mandalorian, and that's why they didn't watch it. But saying it didn't have Easter eggs, like that's just ridiculous.
Yep.
Problem, and that it has a ton of Easter eggs, but no meaning. These are empty Easter eggs.
Easter egg stuff is just that Easter eggs with no meaning at all.
He's saying Daredevil has empty Easter eggs. Is that what she just said there?
I
I'm
think so.
confused.
I think
You
so.
will.
Oh, good fucking
Take the
Lord.
Punisher tattoo on that dirty cop's wrist. I'm assuming it's a dirty cop. I mean, we don't really know what's going
Of
on
course,
there.
it's a fucking dirty cop. Oh my fucking god! If he's willing to murder somebody, you don't think that's not dirty? Come on, blinder. What the hell?
And but the tattoo is not an Easter egg. Like is she
No.
not? Is she like?
Punisher's in the show.
Is she okay though? Like you're 2 episodes in. Um, it's not an Easter egg. It's a plot element that
He
was
sees it.
teased.
He sees the
You're
tattoo on.
yeah, and you're supposed to go, oh, that's interesting. What is that supposed to mean? Maybe I'll check out next week and find out.
What's it?
That's what normal people do.
Oh, he's a fucking dirty.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
this thing I don't know about made me intrigued, and I'm curious to see where that
I,
goes next episode. Maybe I
I
should
just,
check it out, huh?
I just,
Isn't that that's how it's supposed to go?
I just can't
Fucking
get past
oh
the
my
part where she's
god.
like, "Oh, is that a dirty cop?" Like, is it? Duh. She's willing to murder people. He's willing to murder people instead of arresting. Like,
Right. Which by the way, here's the thing, Andor, it's funny she says that, right? But Andor does have Easter eggs. They're just not the Marvel Easter eggs that you know, right? Like
yeah,
one of the things that is in Andor is that there's a lot of shots that mimic the original or the first movie, right? And it's very like it's if you don't know some of the shots or the way that like the camera pans or whatever,
foreshadow.
it, not foreshadowing.
No, but the
It's
Easter
a
eggs, the
direct,
pressure thing. It's foreshadowing.
yeah, it's more of a technical Easter egg, like, but
Yeah,
there are Easter eggs, right? It's just that again, they're not flashy Easter eggs, or they're not gulp shitio Easter eggs, right? That's what she wants, right? She wants all the gulp shitio Easter eggs, even for Marvel, right? And even if they did the gulp shitio Easter eggs, it, like this is what I don't understand about people, right? Why do you guys care so much about Easter eggs for shit that you never even read in the first place?
yeah,
Isn't am I the only one who thinks that's weird? Like Grace is always talking about they need more Easter eggs, they need more Easter eggs, but you and your audience don't even know the Easter eggs that it's referencing. You guys have to Google it and find out about it. And you go,
yeah.
oh my god, it's based on that. Oh my god, that's so clever. But you would have never known in the first place. If there was no Google, you guys wouldn't even know, right? And the thing is, the Easter eggs are for people who know. That's the part that's fun. It's like, oh, they reference that, or look in the background, they have a artist's name as a bar or something like that, right? And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's cool or whatever. But it's not supposed to fucking hold up the show.
Mhm.
God fucking damn. Like, why are you watching this shit if it's not for the story? Like, that's what I mean. They live in another world.
It just this logo is not an Easter egg, Grace.
No, it's not. It's a plot point.
Yeah.
I think they're twisting the Punisher's,
If it was
motivation.
by the way, if it was an
Yeah.
Although, how is
Easter egg,
Matt
they
Murdock?
wouldn't have zoomed up on it like that.
Exactly.
It was there for us to know, hey, this is important. Keep this, remember this. That's what a close-up shot like that is for.
Hmm.
So bizarre. Easter eggs are generally hidden for intent, jokes or not. Yeah, exactly. But
Hmm.
it's just weird. Like again, it's such a weird point and a weird criticism to aim at these shows where it's just a minor thing. It's there to be like, hey, for the people who know. And sometimes they just throw that in there because they need a name in the background or something, right? And it's fun for the art department to do that, right? But like for that to be the reason why you're watching the show, that's weird. I
She
can't be
does it
the
for.
only one who thinks that's weird, right?
She does it a lot. She makes it seem like she only cares about finding Easter eggs. And that's
Yeah,
it.
and then she says, yeah, and she said that the penguin, that's the reason why she didn't cover the penguin. And let's be honest, the reason why, first off, one, your audience didn't want to see a breakdown of that type of show, not because it didn't have Easter eggs, right? Because there's not really much you can even add to
Mm.
the show, right? Like, could you imagine if Grace had to do weekly breakdowns of Soprano? Holy
Yeah.
fuck, we'd be blowing out our brains, right? Like it would be awful, fucking terrible. And like when it comes to the character work and writing, Grace is not a very she can't analyze certain things. Like she can analyze the box office and things that she's good at, but when it comes to the core foundations of like cinematography or acting or the production value, CGI, VFX, sound design, things that actually make up the movie, she doesn't really know what works or not. Let's be honest, right? And that's why she always keeps going back to the business part of it, because that's what she's good at and that's what she's familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Murdoch also, by the way, gonna find out about that
So what you're
tattoo.
saying is she's the Peter Safran of movie talk.
Yeah, MCU brain rot and Snyderisms are bad for your
I'm
mental
sorry.
health, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
Who was your Easter? Who you know who my Easter egg is? 56 egg? Who 56?
Because he's blind. But we saw it. And it was a very empty moment. It was
Yeah, it
almost
wasn't
thrown
for
away.
him. It
I mean,
was for
obviously, it
us.
means the Punisher's
Yeah.
coming. And we know he's coming. We saw him in the trailers. He's apparently getting his own Disney Plus movie. But the show I think they should have made more out of that. It should have been a moment. Instead, it was just like, oh, did you see it? Don't worry, we'll get you later. I mean, I was like, whoa, you're
Because that's not
disrespecting these Easter eggs.
it's not it. Holy fucking hell. Oh my fucking God. Oh, like this is the kind of crap where you have to sit down and realize people are stupid.
Yeah.
People are stupid. Like, first off, one, it's not an Easter egg, as I mentioned before. And two, they're not, you wanted them to stop what they were doing. That wasn't important to the scene. That was for you to be like, keep this in mind later. This is an
Yeah,
important
yeah.
element.
It's foreshadowing for later in the series.
Right. Yeah, there's something off with these cops, which is already why he's investigating, right?
yeah.
And Daredevil being blind isn't picking that up because that's
You
again, that's
can't
gonna
see
come
the
much later.
logo. Yeah.
Right, but that's
He has to
important
use it
for
from
us
his
as viewers.
and you have to use this. You have to use this enhanced hearing to figure out there's something more to this.
Right. I mean, it's just like just
Yeah.
absolutely brain dead take right there. Like, oh, they should have focused. Why aren't they focusing on it? Because the scene is about him interrogating these dudes, and now he's in trouble because these guys aren't really well, they're corrupt cops and they're ready to fucking attack him, right? So, I mean, that's the what do you call it? The emotion of the scene, not a fucking Punisher logo being on his hand.
They
They're gonna stop the scene and fucking be like,
they're
look at my fucking arm. It's got a fucking Punisher tattoo. Aren't you
they're
familiar with the Punisher? Stupid.
they're
Fucking
vigilantes using their cop privilege to get away with shit, even though they're
right.
supposed to be
That's the point of the
destroyed.
scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, she's talking
Also,
about
the
well
White Tiger.
written, but she wants the show to
Yeah.
stop and say, look, guys, look at what we have here. That's bad
Yeah.
writing. You know what I mean? Like, get out of here, stupid.
Mhm.
This is his intro. When they were like, "You're the White Tiger," I was like, "Whoa!" Because I was kind of like only half paying attention at that point because I thought the show was a little boring. But I was like, "Whoa! This
Okay,
is his
well, there
intro.
you go,
He's
right?
an iconic character. This is the lowest key intro I ever saw. Why'd
Well,
you?
well, okay,
Actually,
first off,
that kind of character is is Ayla, actually.
yeah, and I mean this element was also in the Michael Bendis run as well,
Yeah.
where he beats up well, he's accused of killing the cops, right? But
Yeah,
this one
they
was
took that
in the
from him.
comics. It was yeah, it was. I think he was like caught robbing something and he killed the cops. It wasn't like what was in the show, but yeah, the daughter is more famous, right? Or the female version, because there's another version of White Tiger too. Um, but
Yeah.
there, so yeah, the female version I would say is more well known. Even if you've never read the comic, she was in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, right? So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember her in the
so
cartoon.
yeah, as an adult, even with no
Why'd you
kids, I
backdoor
completely understand now why Roy got into UFOs.
this guy?" Although, R.I.P. to actor Camar de los Reyes, who plays the character. But also,
Got a
though,
virtue
why is
signal,
he so
guys.
powerless without his
Huh?
Just right before I shit all over it.
amulet? I mean, I'm sure his amulet gives him a little bit of a boost, but he's getting the crap beat out of himself in jail. I'd at least like to see the other guys that he's
Because he
dishing.
doesn't have the
He didn't even have his costume with him.
Did she not catch what she just said?
Yeah.
Did she not catch what she just said? It's like he has the amulet who gives him powers, but like he's getting beating the crap out of in jail. Yeah, because he doesn't have the amulet that gives him his powers. Well, that's why he's getting his ass kicked in jail. Jesus.
you know, you know what? He forgot his amulet and costume at home.
Yeah.
With,
But I
he was
guess
gonna
it
go. He
means
was gonna go to
he
the
shouldn't get his ass beaten up in
lighted.
prison, you know.
He forgot to take it home and go to the flower shop with his costume and amulet
Mm.
because you see him carrying the flowers there. He forgot. Right? He forgot.
It out as good as he's receiving it. And Daredevil has the same. And Matt Murdock has the same footage on his phone from the news feed at the bar. They couldn't have shot an additional clip. Like, what is he only a vigil?
Why not? That's not really a big deal. Who cares?
They say this
Yeah,
guy,
that's
White
not a big
Tiger's.
deal.
This is a kind of nitpick. I'm like, who really cares?
Yeah, that's not a fucking big deal. Jeez.
Yeah.
That's what she's gonna focus on, right? Has nothing to do with the story, has nothing to do with it's like, why did they shoot an additional clip of a footage that isn't even shown for like
If
more
she
than a
was
minute and
if she was in the writer's room,
stupidness.
if I was in the same writer's room as her talking about this, like if we're doing this movie and she brought that up, I'd be like, why does it matter? Like, why does it
Right,
matter?
I don't know why. Yeah, it's fucking weird.
Been a vigilante a lot at this point. It's not like he only went out once. I was like, whoa, can you at least go outside that location and shoot on the street so it just looks a little bit like we have more footage of him? Also,
Who cares, really?
That's where
I
you're
would
gonna
say that
nitpick
White
over,
Tiger's
right?
vigilantism
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
is
Mind you, that does
definitely
cost money
relevant
to
to
do.
that case.
Yeah, it does cost money. She could pay for it. She has her whatever.
I can't believe the judge just sided with Matt Murdock and said that it couldn't be submitted to an evidence. I mean,
Yeah, because he wasn't the White Tiger at the time.
Yeah, he wasn't in the uniform. That was his argument.
Yeah.
Definitely establishes a pattern of behavior. And I think it could even work in his favor. I mean, it seems to me based on B.B. Urick's
Do you really think it would have worked in his favor?
Yeah, it would have not worked in his favor because it would have established a pattern that this guy goes out to beat up people on a regular basis
It would have made
and
things
potentially kill someone. Exactly. When he's trying to make the argument that that this was, well, he showed up and saw someone getting
Yeah.
beat up, and so he stepped in and he fought the two guys, and only when the guy tripped, he fell into the
Yeah.
tracks that killed him. But that was not necessarily his fault when I mean, it was self-defense, right? So
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, if that would cloud the jury's judgment,
Right.
because they would actually think, well, if this guy was beating up these cops, then yeah, it does establish that he may have killed other people in the past, right? So he
Yeah.
might be a cop killer. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's an argument, right? It's a legal case. It's not like, you know,
Yeah.
you got to make your argument, you got to make your case, right? It might be totally wrong, but that's what fucking lawyers do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Media videos that a lot of people in the city are in favor of vigilantes. Some of them said they missed Daredevil. So who's to say the jury wouldn't therefore
And
be
some
more
of them are not in favor of them.
sympathetic
Right.
to him? So that was crazy. I was like, whoa, back up on this. That was nuts.
Yeah,
And
but
then also when it came to
they're
legal,
not in favor of okay. Daredevil is a vigilante who doesn't kill. There's
Yeah.
vigilantes like Punisher who do kill. So that could cloud people's judgment. And yeah, the fact that also keep in mind that we're seeing a taste of people in New York and their opinions, and we see that their opinions are varied. So it's not like you're going to have a slam dunk case where everybody on the jury is like, oh yeah, this was 100% self-defense, especially in New York. I mean, I don't know what she's making the argument here. Like that,
Yeah.
like you could totally see that this guy being convicted, especially if they do bring in the fact that he is a vigilante.
Yeah, because
So
vigilantism is technically illegal.
yeah, it's illegal. Exactly.
Whether you kill or not kill, it's technically illegal.
case in episode 2, if there was a witness that was in danger who was on the platform that the white tiger had saved, why did Matt Murdock question him immediately? Why are we only discussing?
Because that witness is probably a criminal himself.
Wait, play that back. What she just said. Play that back.
The witness.
That was crazy. I was like, whoa, back up on this. That was nuts. And then also when it came to the legal case in episode 2, if there was a witness that was in danger who was on the platform that the white tiger had saved, why did Matt Murdock question him immediately? Why are we only discussing?
Because they were trying. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go. You say
you were thinking the same. No, you could go because they were thinking we were going to say the same thing.
Yeah, but they had to investigate and find out who that witness was. There was no cameras. They didn't know who he was. And then they got the tip that they were going to go and kill him. Well, he figured that this cop was going to kill him, right? Or was going to seek out the witness. But then, that would completely throw off the case. If this guy says, hey, I was being beaten up, right? I mean, that's an important witness, right? And then now they even have further evidence that, one of the cops now tried to kill me. So it's like, well, that doesn't look good. Right. So, I mean, but I don't know what point she's trying to make there.
I just know something. I think I spelled Grace Randolph's last name wrong. So I'm going to change it. There we go. It's on the YouTube, not here, whatever. All right. All right. Somebody tell me if the name is if the name's spelled correctly now. Yeah, there we go. All right.
Him now. It was that whole foot chase, slow foot chase was not very well done. It was confusing. It was hard to tell who we were following. I mean,
How did you not know who he was following?
The guy had a hat on.
But I mean, by the way, she just admitted that she wasn't really paying attention, by the way, too.
No.
But it was not confusing because he comes out of the police office and he says, hey, I finished my shift. I signed out. Home. And then he goes home. How is that confusing? They show him at the cop station talking with the police officer saying he's getting off his shift.
Yeah.
Well, what more do you need? I don't understand.
And then Daredevil, he goes home and Daredevil basically waits.
Yeah, he was following him to see what he was going to do next. So, what was confusing about that? You knew who he was by just establishing he's coming out of the police officer, then saying, hey, I gotta go, right? My shift ended. And he's talking to another police in uniform. What is there to be confused about? Bizarre. Again, bizarre.
Checked out at that point because, it was, I wouldn't have aired actually 2 episodes tonight. I think it did not serve the show well.
I think it was
what did you think of that sequence?
I don't know.
With the YouTube Music app, you can discover remix after remix after remix after remix.
And then
that's another good point too, Sideways. It was not a foot chase. It was him following him and seeing where he was and trying to identify his next move. By the way, okay, so she's like, oh, they should have never aired 2 episodes. But you admitted that first off, you got bored. And then you said you weren't paying attention. So maybe it's not that they should have aired 2 episodes. Maybe you should have paid attention if this is supposed to be your job. Some people could say it was boring and I didn't like the show or whatever, right? That's fine. But if your job is to watch the show and you're like, I wasn't paying attention, and then you're saying I didn't understand why they didn't do certain stuff, doesn't that look bad as a reviewer?
Does she understand that following someone you're supposed to go slow and make slow?
Yeah, he's not. Well, it's not even a chase because the guy doesn't even know he's being followed.
Yeah, it's called following. It's stoppable.
Yeah, he's following he's following the guy and investigating him, so it's like
that's supposed to be slow.
This is what I'm saying. Like, if you're a reviewer and you're messing up points about what is going on in the show, doesn't that make you a sloppy reviewer? Because you're getting stuff incorrect and you're misleading people.
Yeah.
What she said is misleading. So again, this is why I say, like,
not only is it
fucking knows? No, you could continue. I'm talking too much.
All right.
Raining Easter eggs,
fine.
but it's raining love interest for Mr. Matt Murdock. His new business partner, Kristen McDuffie, she was his love interest in the comics, and Heather Glenn, who is his love interest
Hey, he has so many love interests as well. Like so many.
Here in these first 2 episodes. Although she's reimagined here as a therapist. I thought, by the way...
Do you prefer him with the red hair or his hair like this? He looks fine with no red hair.
It's fine. I mean, no. I mean, in the comics, he has this really bright red hair.
Yeah.
I like the kind of burgundy kind of look that he has. This burgundy, darker red.
Yeah.
That Kristen... I didn't think she was setting Matt Murdock up on a date. I thought she thought he should see a therapist because he was so depressed and not dealing with what happened with Foggy, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I thought when he came
on a
back to
date
the
with
office and was like,
to help him. Yeah, that's what you did.
If
He's like,
set
you
up
should go on a date with a therapist to figure out your issues
At a rest-
and also get a girlfriend.
at a diner,
That's what that was.
at a diner too.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was supposed to be funny. It was supposed to be fun. I mean, I mean, it's dark, but it's funny,
Yeah.
right? I mean, again, Grace just,
I can't believe you tried to set me up on a date. I thought she'd be like, what? I was trying to get you to see a therapist, Matt. But that's not the kind of show this is. She, in fact, was setting him up on a date. And it's weird that she was setting him up on a date, and then she's probably going to get involved with him later if they follow the comics. I'm like, where's human resources?
They did kiss.
Yeah, but that's Daredevil. She does realize, right?
Yeah.
That's his fucking character. He's a player.
He is a fucking player. Yeah, because being blind, that definitely does get the women interested. Like, beat around the bush, but there are women who are attracted to blind men. Let's be honest. They do feel sorry.
I mean, she's like, how dare he hook up with multiple people? It's like he's been doing this entire time, even in the fucking show.
The thing is, he's not the only lawyer as a player. She-Hulk's a player too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He was with She-Hulk, and he was with the Night Nurse. He was with Karen. Yeah. I mean, he was all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Resources. I guess this new law firm does not have one. Because it was,
human resources. They fucking own the legal firm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Is it Murdock and McDuffie? Isn't that the name of the firm?
It's their legal firm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. All right. So, and it seems that Dr. Heather Glenn is about to get her Dr. Chase Meridian on because she's not only fascinated by masks, she's thinking of exploring them for her next book.
Chase Meridian. It's just a Batman Forever reference.
Yeah, and her book was Live Without Fear.
Yeah.
That was the book's name.
But at the end of episode 2, she becomes the marriage counselor for Mr. and Mrs. Kingpin. I kind of like that development. Also, at the end of episode 1, we get a Muse tease. And I was surprised that episode 2 didn't therefore...
Who is this person on the side?
Well, I'm not looking at the screen.
No, like, besides the Kingpin, who is that Muse making on the side? If you're looking at the screen.
No, it's Kingpin. It's kind of like broken. It's like a broken.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how I took
on
it.
Muse, but I guess they're going to draw that one out. Although, who's not to say Muse didn't show up at Heather's book signing as that weird guy who says he's got problems and needs help? I think that's probably Muse. That would be my guess. Who do you think?
It is Muse.
It is.
He looks so young. I didn't think Muse is young, huh? Has he always been young in the comics?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess you could say that. It's kind of hard to tell.
And one other comic book Easter egg that I really liked, I thought that was beautiful, even though it came right after a horrible VFX shot, was this gorgeous shot that calls to mind the iconic Daredevil comics, particularly the cover of Daredevil Born Again.
Like the show face.
All right, so then, as I said, when Daredevil Born Again focuses on story, it's at its strongest. Matt and Fisk and
the
Vanessa.
whole show is focused on story, though. What are you even paying attention to?
Yeah, I don't know. Again, she wasn't paying attention. She did say that.
these parallels, and then also to a lesser degree, because they didn't do I don't think they did as good a job in focusing on this element of the story, but I liked the hint of what they were trying to do with Matt and Hector. So let's start with Matt and Fisk first. Amazing character work. I mean, that conversation at the diner.
This is the conversation. I heard John Camp and Grace Randolph had a conversation like this at the table.
Incredible. Here you have two guys who famously both loved working outside the system as a vigilante and a crime lord, now both deciding at the same time that they're going to work inside the system as a lawyer and a mayor. What could go wrong? Oh, that's the show. As Fisk says, he admires a man who rises above his nature. But for how long can they get away with it, considering how much rages within both of them, right? Like, who will blink first?
Yeah.
They're playing
Kingpin, yeah, like King. They're the Joker and the Batman. I mean, you said Bullseye is the
he's
Joker.
like the psychotic, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Kingpin and Daredevil, they're kind of like a
you represent a different side of Joker, more like the what can I say?
Well, I mean, it's
order.
like, chaos. Like Kingpin is crime and Daredevil is the law, right?
Yeah. And Joker is Joker's chaos and Batman's like order.
Mm-hmm.
And Bullseye, when we compare Bullseye as these three says Joker, Bullseye is more like the character is trying to goat Batman,
right,
make his life painful, stuff like that.
A game of Rage Chicken, and that I think is one of the best new elements here. Matt hits Fisk with some classic Catholicism. Try saying that 5 times fast. Woo! And it's intense, like Catholicism so often is. So Matt says he believes in grace and forgiveness, but also retribution, meaning he'll come for Fisk if he needs to. But then Fisk, pew, 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 comes right back at him, right? And he says, hey, I'm about to become mayor. And that means I'm going to come down hard on vigilantism. So if you try to come after me as Daredevil, I will use all of my new legitimate power to take you down. Wow, what a standoff. And that's fantastic. But when it comes to Fisk's crusade against vigilantism, this also, though, creates a problem for the show.
What's that?
Which I'm sure all of you spotted immediately. But it was underscored even more so in Fisk's New Year's Eve speech, where he gave references, not so thinly veiled references, to Spider-Man and the Punisher. Now, the Punisher, as we know, is coming. He's going to be on the show. However, I don't think Spider-Man is.
Here we go.
I think that would have...
Here we go.
Spider-Man is not allowed to be on the show.
Here we go. Some bullshit criticism on our way.
Yeah, just
this is what she was saying. This is the reason why the show's not good.
Just Spider-Man is not allowed to be on the show, on the Disney Plus shows. That's the deal they have with Sony.
But definitely leaked by now, especially since Disney gave out the entire season in advance. But how do you have a New York City story and Spider-Man isn't in it, especially now that he's even been referenced?
Because he's legally not allowed to be in it.
Because he can't be in it. Because he can't be in it. Okay.
And can be mentioned.
Okay, can I just say this, right? I'm so annoyed with this criticism. It's been 10 years of this bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Where they go, oh, why doesn't this character show up, right? I remember during Iron Man 3, that's where it kind of first started. They were like, well, why doesn't the Avengers show up during Iron Man 3? That doesn't make any sense. And you're like, okay, well, first off, one, it would take away from the fucking entire story, right?
This isn't the
comics. Yeah, this isn't the comics where it's like they can draw. And by the way, this still does happen in the comics, right?
Yeah.
Because because the editorial has to come in and say, no, you can't use that character because this character is doing something off world. And it would and it wouldn't match with the story. But everybody keeps saying this, oh, why doesn't this character show up? Why doesn't this character show up? And it's like, first off, one, it's not called Spider-Man, it's called Daredevil. Well, like, I understand that they live in the
Spider-Man
same
would just
world, but
he would just overshadow the whole thing.
yeah, he would just overshadow the whole thing. And I don't think I don't think that that should be a minor criticism of why you don't like the show
And,
because another character didn't show up. Like
well,
again,
she's
it's like all this like MCU brain rot. It's like, oh, we need to have cameos and we need to have if Spider-Man did show up, it would be in a fucking cameo. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
And Sony has to allow it. Like Sony and
yeah,
Disney have a time.
and remember what she said about like the TV show should stay separate from the movies, but she wants a movie character to cross over into. Do you see what I'm saying here though? Like this is stupid,
Just
right?
like Daredevil.
Make up your goddamn mind. Make up your
Yeah.
goddamn fucking mind. Holy shit.
Oh, well.
Story. I mean, they've really backed themselves into a corner here, and I think
No, they
this-
didn't.
He's found
Heroes,
what?
heroes and villains get mentioned in other MCU movies and TV shows all the time, but don't appear in it all the time.
Right.
Like all the time. Okay. It
I
happens.
don't understand why that because I seen some people too where like, oh, I'm so sick of them referencing the characters and blah blah blah. And it's like, man, you guys are fucking deranged as fuck.
They
Like,
if you
God
read the
fucking
comics,
damn.
they reference the characters in the comics that don't even appear in that issue or future issues of the arc. Like it happens. It's normal.
Like I mean, yeah, okay, first off, one, if Spider-Man was to really show up, Spider-Man and Daredevil have never interacted in costume. That's also another thing too. So if Spider-Man was to team up with
And this,
Daredevil, they would have to establish their relationship first,
and I
right?
don't even
Because
think
Matt Murdock doesn't even know Peter Parker anymore.
and I don't even think this show would be way to mature if Spider-Man's in it.
That's another thing too. I don't think Marvel would mind that much. I mean, I think that
Yeah.
would depend on Sony. But
Yeah.
yeah, I again, if this is your criticism, I just feel like again, it's always about Easter eggs and cameos and this is the problem with Marvel, right? Is because they give in to people like Grace Randolph, people who just literally said the story is good, but the show has a problem because there's no cameos. Really? Really? Seriously?
Oh.
this is the problem with.
If I only like cameos if they ever played an integral part of the show. If they're just there just for fan service, fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the cameos are getting annoying now because it's just there for fan service for people like Grace to be like, "Oh my god, that was kind of inaccurate."
It's not Secret Wars is all going to be about cameos instead of like the actual plot.
Yeah.
Like, if Doomsday is so bad and people are just going to be like, you know what? If Doomsday is bad and people are just going to be like, you know, the only thing I care about Secret Wars now is cameos. If Doomsday is leading into Secret Wars, if it's bad, that's the only reason you're going to see it. Like,
Yeah, it's just
With the MCU.
fucking what happened. Doctor Strange ruined that. Well, Spider-Man was the first, but like Doctor Strange kind of ruined it.
As it rapidly expands. I mean, Kingpin is even a legitimate Spider-Man villain. So it is really weird that he's not included here. But speaking of vigilantes, I loved.
Even if they had the rights, I think it would be more weird if Spider-Man just randomly showed up without establishing his relationship with these characters. We haven't seen him established with Kingpin or Daredevil in costume, right? Matt Murdock did interact with him in No Way Home, but that's kind of out the window now.
Matt Murdock doesn't know. Matt Murdock did know Peter was Spider-Man because he was revealed, but he doesn't know him now because everybody does.
He just knows him as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
At the end of episode 1, who's up on the rooftop now? Fisk. You know, he says even earlier, I bet you miss being up on the roof to Daredevil. And then he's on the roof as the new protector of New York City. Well, kind of. Protecting it in his own special way. But I like that. I thought that was really nice. Now let's take a look at Fisk and Vanessa. So apparently, after his horrible and embarrassing run-in with Echo, they had a couple of good references and jokes to that in the show. But I wouldn't have referenced Echo because it was. When it comes to Kingpin, Echo was a particular disaster, and so
you have to reference Echo though.
They had she's like the show is a mess or whatever, but it's like, well, this is important to the fucking character.
Yeah.
like, yeah, I didn't like the show either, but I mean,
Yeah.
still, like, it was a foundation of their relationship. It's important to mention. Like this is what I mean, right? Like, if they didn't mention that, how much you want to bet you would say, why wasn't that reference? Because it's an Easter egg. So so it's like, what the fuck? Like, okay, so you're saying that they shouldn't have referenced something, but you want references. So which one is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. She's flip floppy like that.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
I would
Yeah, it is.
rather just leave that behind for the character. But apparently they wanted to try and loop it in. So Fisk was so badly damaged that it took him a very long time, because she used, her new powers on him. But it took him a very long time to recover, probably from the embarrassment. And he lost a lot of
Not
weight.
really. On the end of Echo, he pretty much got over by there possibly being election for mayor, for running for mayor. He got over pretty
Mhm.
quickly. He was embarrassed. Then once on his private jet, and the idea of running for mayor came up, he got over it. He got over it.
Right.
I thought it was funny when Matt first
Falcon
sat
and
down
Taskmaster?
with
Yeah, I know.
Fisk, and
Well-
he said, "You look good," but there was like this animosity
Well,
between.
Taskmaster is a Thunderbolt, so Thunderbolt's already been cast in Doomsday. I don't know why, but
Him, I was like, go ahead, Matt, be a bitch. Ask him if he's on Ozempic.
what's that mean?
But anyway, Vanessa ran Fisk's criminal empire during that time, even wearing white, going so far as to wear white, and she looked great in
Yeah.
it. And you'll note that Fisk doesn't wear white anymore. So who wears the crime pants or the crime suit in the family now? Vanessa. But Fisk will go back to that, so that all white look is apparently a symbol of going back to crime, which is interesting because it's all white, which is usually a symbol of purity.
I should be more interested in the show, especially considering I haven't read much DD since Bendis and Broadbaker. A little way too. That was a breath of fresh air.
Mm.
Yeah, the grass you told me you're not heavily vested. You're like, I should be interested, but I'm not.
Right.
But we see Fisk donning his white suit again in the trailer for the show. Now, Vanessa, as Kingpin admires, has an eye for art and history when he talks about how she would recognize his new desk. Well, it was LaGuardia's desk, how she would recognize it immediately. And I believe that's a Caravaggio painting hanging up in her her conference room of crime. Now, Caravaggio is not only an old world artist, famous for portraying pain, violence, and torture, both physical and emotional, but he was also referenced very effectively in a similar manner, in a recent Netflix show, Ripley, which, by the way, is a show that I continue to highly recommend that you watch.
Well, Ripley, believe it or not. Okay.
Ripley, believe it or not.
Squarespace.
So Vanessa not only ran Kingpin's criminal empire in his absence, but she apparently did an amazing job. And now she's very upset, I think understandably, that she's had to stop. But why has she had to stop? I don't think they did a good enough job explaining that. Why can't she still run his empire from the shadows? Particularly because he can't as mayor. Like, we're really supposed to believe he disbanded, completely disbanded this criminal empire that he built, which was now at a point where it was running the best it had ever run?
Sorry, I'm not looking at this. What happened?
He says I have some long stewing con beef with Zardesky. I don't read his bullshit. It's personal. Chris Zardesky? Really? I mean, I'm interested to hear that story sometime. Like, I want to hear that. If you're ever free to tell us sometime, it's up to you. You don't have to tell us anything.
That makes no sense. But if they did do that, then why wouldn't Vanessa want to be involved in this new endeavor with politics? I think that D'Onofrio and Zur make a fabulous evil power couple. I think they seem to be at their best they've ever been on this show. So the fact that they're separated, I don't like that they're doing that with them. I hope that they resolve this issue pretty quickly. But apparently they're going to have to get over the fact that Vanessa had an affair. Now, Kingpin swears he's a different person. He won't kill Adam. And I don't know who Adam is. I mean, any guesses as to who Adam is?
That was the one thing I was like, they just mentioned that, and I was like slightly confused because I'm like, wait, who's Adam?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish they showed that character first because yeah, I was a little bit confused, and then I was like, oh, it's the guy she was, cheating on
Yeah,
with,
sleeping with. Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah, an affair with. Yeah.
Gave him a name. He's going to have to show up at some point. But Adam, I would leave town. I mean, for sure. I mean, as we see with the police commissioner, Kingpin has not changed that much. And this is early days. He's going to probably get much worse. By the way, when Kingpin was blackmailing the police commissioner, that was such a poorly done scene because he lifted his sandwich wrapper and he showed a woman and a little boy. And I was like, who are these people? I thought it was maybe the commissioner's wife. I guess his wife was somebody different from the cemetery, but I didn't notice that. And who knows? You don't have to think it's anything bad. Maybe it's his sister or the babysitter. And you're like, who's that kid? I guess it has something to, and I didn't get the threat.
The point.
But then afterwards, Kingpin was like, his illegitimate child. I found
Hold on. Because this is stupid. This is stupid, right? Because I was saying this scene is good, and I'll explain it again because this is stupid, right? You don't need to know afterward who it was. The threat was, I know something and I have blackmail on you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That was the point. Yeah, I agree in the sense where it's like you didn't know who it was, but it didn't really matter who it was because the point was he was like, hey, look at this, right? Look at what I found, right? And I'm not even gonna mention it. I'm gonna show you to intimidate you.
You know what? I'm gonna elaborate on your point because the commissioner, obviously from the 3 Daredevil seasons, obviously thought Kingpin is a criminal. Kingpin's a criminal. He's disgusting. He's despicable. He's bad. All that, and the idea of working for him, because he's the mayor, right, ate him up. So he wants to resign, right? He told Kingpin, "I'm going to resign." But Kingpin was not going to let that happen. It was a way for Kingpin to torture him, to keep him on board.
Wait. I just realized what Degrassi said. He has beef with Zdarsky. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, Zdarsky's the guy who was writing. Well, he wrote Devil's Reign, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. I didn't catch that.
See, the thing was to keep the commissioner on as a way of torturing him, making him do stuff that he doesn't want to do.
Right.
Because that's the idea, and obviously blackmail is part of it, right? Because technically the commissioner could quit, but if he quits, Fisk will expose him. By keeping him on, the commissioner still has to do stuff he doesn't want to do for Fisk, but has to do it because of the realization he could be exposed for having a legitimate son. It's torture. It's psychological torture, really. Really is. It's basically blackmail. You're still working for me. It's blackmail. Like that.
And I was like, this was a very poorly set up scene. It was a little bit silly, in fact. So I guess everyone's having affairs on this show. So then I also liked Matt Murdock defending Hector Ayala, aka the White Tiger, because you have a man
who is... It's not Ayala. Isn't it Ayala? Oh, I think she says his name wrong. Whatever.
Stopped being a vigilante face to face with the man who refuses to stop being a vigilante, even though his wife is mighty upset about it. Why? I wonder, how do you feel about the way they're handling the White Tiger character? I mean, this is a really iconic character in the comics, who means a lot to a lot of people, particularly in the Latino community. So I'm surprised at the way he's being handled. I mean, really, if I was in the room when they were doing the show, I'd be like,
what?
We're going to put a little more respect.
I don't know. What is she trying to say here? I don't even understand. Like, we barely even got to see a lot of the character.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just...
I don't know what point she's trying to make here.
On White Tiger, aren't we? And I'm sure, like, we've seen other shots from the trailer, so I guess it's going to get better down the line, but surprisingly weak start for the character. So I like this idea of these two men, and their civilian identities, which is weird that we're focusing on their civilian identities and not their vigilante identities. But unfortunately,
But
this feels like an afterthought in episode.
Go ahead.
that's such a stupid comment, right?
Yeah.
Like, because it's like the entire show and the whole dynamic of the both characters is the fact that their secret identities. I mean, in the MCU and two, there are uh like it's extremely important to their character arcs or past character arcs is that they live this double life and they're very conflicted about it. They're both conflicted people, right? Wilson Fisk, we saw that he's a violent person, but he's also a person that has been wrong and abused and been completely mistreated. And so he has this vendetta and chip on his shoulder,
Yeah.
and he wants things to get better. And he also doesn't want to live a life of crime, but he ends up living that life of crime, right? And he takes it over. He's like, well, I'm not going to let this happen, but it's going to happen, so it might as well be under my watch, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And when you contrast it with Daredevil, Daredevil wants it to be completely gone. Like they both have similar motivations. It's just that Kingpin is willing to get dirty while Daredevil doesn't want to get dirty. He doesn't even want to kill people, right?
Hmm.
And he wants the law to do it, but he knows that the law has its limits. And
Hmm.
also morally he's conflicted about it as well because it goes against his faith and what he believes in.
Yeah.
So it is very important, um because it guides who they are when they are, the Daredevil and Kingpin. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's such a stupid comment for her to say that, and she's going on about, oh, it's this scene is sloppy or this and that, but yet you're so focused on, oh, I just want the punch punch bang bang and I want the cameos and the Easter
Yeah. The
eggs. But
action. The
then at the
camera.
same yeah, but then in the same breath you go, well, the show is not nuanced or it's not well written.
Yeah.
Like that's why it's like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, it's kind of annoying talking about Grace because like when you see this stuff, it's like anybody can really argue against what she's saying. I'm not like, again, it's her opinion. I don't care, but I'm still going to refute it. I'm still going to rebut it because it's stupid what she's saying. And then people are going to listen to this and then believe it when it's simply first off, one, there's a lot of contradictions of what she's saying within what she wants, and she doesn't even know what she wants, and the criticism is empty. I don't think any of this is constructive. And how long was this anyway?
Hmm.
This was like,
It's
yeah, it was a
barely
long.
focused on. It should be the
33
focal
minutes. We're
point
like about done.
of the second episode. And so, again,
Why would it be
I'm
the
disappointed
focal
in the way
part of the
that came
episode
together.
when they
What do
are
you think of it?
stupidness?
Yeah.
So those are
Stupidness.
my thoughts on Daredevil Born Again. Get 2 episodes at once, but I think that was actually a misstep on the release strategy. In fact, I saw some of you
Nah.
online say you could only get through the first episode because of the pacing, and you were going to save the second episode and watch it a little bit later. So yes, I would not binge this. Again, I think it would be a painful binge with the way the show is put together because it just moves very slowly. All right, I hope it picks up.
haven't
This
even
is
watched
just the first
all
2
the
episodes. I hope it
episodes.
picks up, and I hope it
Mhm.
becomes more focused on story. That's what I'd really like to
I
see.
thought it was. Oh, fuck.
Again, yeah, she says it was focused on story, and then she says it wasn't focused on story. And again, it's all over the place. And this is why James Gunn's little bitches always go after you, Grace. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I can't.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, she's always in this state of oh, everybody's going after me and all this stuff like that. And you're like, do you even listen to what you say? Like, do you go back and reflect and go, maybe, actually what I said here was wrong, or like, it
Hmm.
just, again, this is what happens to, I mean, this happens with us too, right? Is we say so much stuff and then you go, well, actually, I disagree with it and whatever, right? That's fine. But I feel like when you put out a video like this is a 30-minute video, I would write it out, look over what I'm saying, and make it
Hmm.
make sense, right? It's different when it's a live stream, but when it's a recorded video and it's a review, and it's a review that she also puts up on Rotten Tomatoes, you would think she would be a little bit more careful of the wording and the arguments that she's trying to make here, because it's all over the place. It's all over the map. Half of it doesn't even make fucking sense. So yeah, another day, another fucking bullshit moment from Grace. That just pissed me the fuck off. I gotta keep it real. I'm just pissed. Again, she could have come out and say I didn't like the show or whatever. Honestly, she could have made a 2-minute review saying she didn't like the show. 30 minutes of this shit, and we took 2 hours to talk about this shit. So
yeah, I mean, this is good thing we started at 2:30 instead of 9:30 instead of 10.
Well, yeah, absolute hell. Listen to this shit. I gotta see. I'm missing some stuff here. I'm almost done the battle pass
Oh, really?
for
Nice.
yeah, and there's still 30 days, so that means I'm gonna be able to get some more units. Right now I have 13,000 units, so I might be able to get a free skin soon.
Nice.
A
Nice.
skin I didn't pay for.
Any streams on Horizon?
Not right now. I'm kind of, I don't
Oh.
know. I'm kind of lazy. I gotta be honest, as
I'm gonna
usual,
be
I
honest with
guess.
you. Before I end the stream, guys, I just go on this little 2-minute rant. Why did John Campy have to talk about, oh, Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars is going to be 2.5 hours and Secret Wars is going to be 3 hours long? Why do you need to make a 10-minute segment about that? We fucking know.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Views.
yeah, views. Like, seriously, Endgame and Infinity War. Infinity War was like 2.5 hours, and Endgame was like just over 3 hours. Why is it big? It's not like, who cares? Like, I wouldn't make it. Hey, if the Russos came out and said, yeah, if Infinity, not Infinity War. I mean, if Secret Wars and Doomsday were like an hour and a half to like hour 45 minutes, yeah, I would probably make a video. If I was Campia, I would make a video. For me, I would make a video. But 2.5 hours or 3 hours? No, there's no, like, seriously. Like,
Yeah, I just think it's views, honestly.
yeah,
Because
like,
you put Avengers in the title, it'll get some views, right?
yeah, like, it's not big of a deal. Avenger movies are always long.
Yeah.
Even Avengers Ultron and in the first one, they were like 2.5 hours, if I remember.
Mhm. Yeah. It's the Campia, right? We got Campia on one hand, and then we got Grace.
It's like,
on the
maybe
other.
it's because he's fallen this rabbit hole where all past Marvel movies have been like 2 hours or just a little bit less, or a little bit more, because they have been. They haven't been exactly 2.5 hours lately. Some of the Marvel movies have been sometimes under 2 hours or just over 2 hours. Maybe he fell into that hole, but Adventure movies are never going to be that short. It'd probably be a bad movie if it was, but whatever. I don't know. All right, guys. Later, guys. We'll do some